You'll find a Mets fan. Let's go. This is a Mets cheer for all your Mets here. Let's go. Bring it home. Bring it home. Bring it home
Stadium, the big story, Mets 86. Exciting, thrilling, awesome. Let's take a look.
Oh,
What's up, Met fans? Welcome back to Talking Mets it, Rob. Thank you for tuning in. This is the biggest series of the year, played 156 games, and it's probably 99% sure that it's going to come down to game 157, 158, and 159, Mets versus Braves. It is why we are baseball fans. It is why we watch. There is nothing better than playing a series where you do not have to scoreboard watch and you beat the person that's either behind you or in front of you. And it can mean the difference playing October 11th or playing October 7th. This is the ramifications of being a division winner and wildcard seed number one. It is what the Braves did and is what the Mets did, setting up their rotations for this series. Both teams had numerous opportunities in the month of September of surpassing or maintaining their lead in the NL East, and they both faltered in the opportunities that they had for the Mets situation to pull ahead a little further and for the Braves to pass the Mets and go a little further, where this series might not have mattered as much as it does on September 30th. When the season started and when we looked at the schedule, we looked at it, we're like, wow, look at that. The Braves and the Mets face each other at the end of the year. Now, millions of things can happen that might not make today's series, this 3-game series, important, but it ended up being that way. And why not, right? That's the whole reason why we watch baseball. If it was so predictable, nobody would really care enough to watch it. If we know who was going to win, if we know who's going to hit the big home run, know who's going to make the error, know who's going to pitch well, know who's going to hit well, we wouldn't watch. We watch because it's so unpredictable. With that said, late last night, it was around probably 10:30, 11 o'clock last night. I'm sleeping, trying to get some sleep before work. As you guys know, I work overnight. My phone is blowing up. Notifications all over the place. People commenting on my channel, getting texts from my friends, Twitter messages, every type of notification I can get from friends, subscribers, people I don't even know on Twitter, messages everywhere. The notification was the Mets are calling up Francisco Alvarez, the number one prospect in the Mets farm system and the number one prospect in all of baseball. And nobody was expecting that. But if you listen to WFAN yesterday when Buck Showalter was on with Carton and Roberts yesterday, Buck Showalter, when Evan Roberts said, Buck, who is going to be the DH as the right-handed batter when there's a lefty on the mound? Buck Showalter kind of hinted at the situation where the Mets might do something. We didn't know what it was, but he said it like this. He hinted at it. He said this. Ken, I messaged you earlier about this. I said this. Buck said, we are going to reveal what we're going to do very soon or very shortly. That was his quote on WFAN when Evan Roberts asked him that question. And everybody was like, well, what is he talking about? And now it caught my eye. I was like, okay, maybe it's somebody on the taxi squad, because there's a couple of guys that follow every team on the taxi squad based on if it's doubleheader, whatever you have to think about. It's just a matter of that's how baseball wants to do it. So taxi squad there is mostly because of the pandemic. There we go. And late last night, we got the notification, we got the message, we got the tweet saying that Francisco Alvarez is coming up. And I think everybody was shocked. Obviously, Mets fans are excited. I am doing the entire game. And absolutely, everybody was shocked. I don't think anybody would have thought 6 games left in the season, Alvarez is on top, coming up to the big leagues. And then some people were looking at it like, well, he can't be on the playoff roster. Well, yes. Basically, different type of rules, different type of situations. Yes, he wasn't technically on the 40-man, but he can replace a player that is on the 15 or 60-day IL, and he will be eligible for the playoffs if the Mets decide to put him on the postseason roster. And in all likelihood, I don't think Ruff is going to be on the postseason roster. I think it's going to come down to either Vientos or Alvarez as the right-handed bat, depending on the Mets carrying 3 catches in the playoffs, which would be very odd. You know, even James McCann might get left off the playoff roster. You just never know at this point. But it's exciting as a Mets fan because we've been clamoring for months to bring up Vientos, and they brought him up, 3 weeks ago? And then we thought that there was an opportunity for Alvarez to come up about a month and a half ago, and then he had that little injury situation, and that didn't happen. And nobody was expecting him to come up and catch, but we were looking for a right-handed DH. And Alvarez can or cannot be that guy, right? We don't know. I don't care who can hit in the minor leagues. Until you show it and prove it in the major leagues, you're basically a person that wears the team name and has the name on the back of their jersey and a number. That's basically it. You are not a prospect anymore. You are one of many major leaguers that make the big leagues and try to stay up. Wow, Cocky, your name suits you, doesn't it? Listen, keep it PG, buddy. I'm just letting you know that right now. All right? This is a baseball channel. You start to get personal, your ass is out. I'm just letting you know that. Just so you know. Right? You can talk about your team. You can go as hard as you want about your Braves. But let's be honest. You were probably the same one since July that's saying the Braves are going to take over first place, and they're still holding their you-know-what in their hands. So until you beat us and pass us, let it go. All right? You want to listen, there's a Braves channel that's happening right now if you want to join, right? You can join that channel, right? But you want to be a troll, be a troll. I love it. Bring it. But I'm telling you right now, make sure you're here if the Mets win. Don't pussy out and leave when the Braves are losing, because you Braves fans are very good for that. All right? When the Mets beating the Braves or the Mets are winning and the Braves are losing, Brave fans are nowhere to be found. There's like 1 or 2 of you, JL and Bravos, that are actually the ones that take a beating when the Braves are losing. They stay here and take it from Mets fans. Very simple. And this goes for Mets fans as well. All right? Keep it PG. Keep it baseball related. Anything personal is going to get you blocked. Very simple today. All right, guys? That's exactly what's going to happen today. Because this is not about your personal agenda because they don't root for your team, you're going to be a total dick. All right? It's not happening on this channel. You want to go to Wardy's channel and be a dick? Go. You want to go on the Braves channel, be a dick? Go. We are here for baseball. And I'm letting you know that right now. Make sure you do the right thing. Be respectful to a fellow baseball fan. All right? Cocky, I'm just letting you know that right now. Bravos and JL, they have been very respectful and very good Braves fans. They talk about their team. They're confident in their team. They talk their crap, but they should. But make sure you understand the fact that you were the same one pumping your chest for 3 months saying the Braves are going to take over the division, and they're still waiting to do so. Now, can they do it in this series? Absolutely. Anything can happen. But stop acting like the Mets have 50 wins and you're just playing, and the Mets are just playing out the stretch, because that's not the case. All right. I talked about yesterday when it came to the pregame about the series preview yesterday about pitching matchups. We know who the pitching matchups are. DeGrom, Scherzer, Bassett. For the Braves, it's Fried, it's Wright, and it's Morton. Again, I give a very slight edge to the Mets based on the fact that I give the slight edge tonight to Max Fried, because in the last month, I like to look at the last month of a pitcher over the last couple of, I'm not going to look at 2 months ago because that makes no sense. Over the last month, Fried has pitched better than Jacob deGrom. You know, Jacob deGrom, as a regular person, if he's just a normal pitcher, he didn't pitch bad. But as a person that you see, well, Jacob deGrom, the immortal Jacob deGrom, right? You don't see him do that much. But he has given up home runs in his last 3 starts. Some to tie the game, some to give away a game rather quickly. And that's about it. Yeah, but all of a sudden, people care about wins. Carlos Carrasco has the most wins on the Mets. Does that mean that, and he might not even make the postseason roster? Wins don't mean nothing, okay? He has a 6.5 ERA against the Mets. You can't give Wright the nod over Scherzer in a matchup. You just can't. Now, I'm giving you Fried against deGrom because I think Fried has pitched better than Jacob deGrom in this month of September. There's you can check it if you want to. It's not just about the win. It's just the way he pitched, the way both of them has pitched, the way both of them has taken control over the games. Max Fried has done that more this month than Jacob deGrom. History-wise, there's no doubt about it. Jacob deGrom is a better pitcher. Very simple, but that means nothing, in my opinion, in the last month. Now, you don't expect a great guy, a great pitcher like Jacob deGrom coming off one of his worst starts since 18-19 to have another bad performance. Now, that doesn't mean that he'll pitch great. He could pitch good and still lose. He could pitch great and still lose, right? Max Fried is just as good as a pitcher with his nasty stuff to shut down the Mets. That's definitely can happen. But we're not here to make it personal. We're here to talk about baseball. Well, Jesse, I mean, that's fine and everything like that, but at the same time, it's not like Fried has played different teams than Jacob deGrom. Yes, he went into the playoffs, but Fried wasn't even your best pitcher in the playoffs, so I don't know what you're really talking about with that. He wasn't your best pitcher last year. Charlie Morton was your best pitcher in your rotation last year. It wasn't Fried. Fried had a lot of bad performances in the playoffs, right? deGrom has more years against Fried, but that doesn't mean that Fried can't pitch well, right? Who cares who plays in bigger games, right? When Jacob deGrom played in big games, he took care of business. It's just a fact. You know, again, we talked about this yesterday, Bravos. We even had a conversation about it, about Fried, right? If he's not getting his breaking ball over for strikes, he has an issue with walks, and that's when he has to throw fastballs in the middle of the plate, just like every other pitcher, and that's when he gets hit. Again, even with his nasty stuff, he might not be 100% on his game, but still can get guys out. That's why Fried is so good, right? And on top of that, he's a lefty, which I always think when you got nasty stuff as a lefty and you don't seem to have it, you still find a way to help your team win a ball game. And I think that's what Fried does, and he does it very well. And with Jacob deGrom, again, I'm not going to stand here and tell you, I'm not going to be like, oh, the GOAT is on the mound. The GOAT hasn't performed in September to Jacob deGrom's level, right? If you give me another name that's like an average to good pitcher and you show the numbers that deGrom had the last 3 starts, you'd be like, oh, that's a good outing. But when you're on deGrom's level, it's not a good outing. And there's no mistake about it. deGrom better show up tonight. I better not see less than 7 innings. I'm telling you that right now. Well, that's, again, Jesse, that's not true. What, 2 years? He's been out a year. He's actually been more healthier than Fried, actually. But again, you got to look at the facts. You know, just because, I mean, how many big games have Fried pitched in, right? Did Fried had a big game last year until the playoffs? The Mets were out of it in August. Who were they having big games against? They were winning in the division because there was no competition, the Braves. So there was no competition until the playoffs. And again, Fried did not pitch well in the playoffs. Charlie Morton was your best pitcher. You know, nobody's saying Fried's a bad pitcher. You're hearing the wrong thing. The point of the matter is, if deGrom is on his game, he is better than Fried on his best day. If they're both pitching at their best, DeGrom is better. Now, Fried can go longer than Jacob DeGrom because DeGrom has shown in certain starts where he can't go. He might not, but you have to remember, Fried has pitched the entire year. DeGrom came back in the second half. So this is his 11th start when Fried has 27, 28 starts. So this is like his middle of a year type of start. That's it. Like, that's the other thing you have to look at. Well, there's a reason why Jacob DeGrom probably not going 7 innings every single game. One, they like to shut him down at certain points, but in a big game like this, DeGrom will probably throw 100 pitches. Could it be 5 innings? Yeah, if the Braves follow off a lot of pitches and don't swing at that nasty slider that he has. If DeGrom's slider is as sharp as we see DeGrom's slider is, the Braves are going to have a hard time tonight because there is no mistake about it. Fact check. Trust me. Google it. There's a reason why the Braves are 10 games under 500 against teams over 500, right? When they face good pitching, they have issues because they're a big strikeout team, right? They hit a ton of home runs. But when you're a big strikeout team against a strikeout rotation that you're facing in these 3 games, it's going to come down to clutch hits. Very simple. I think all these, look, today I can see a 2-1 ball game and I can see a 6-5 ball game. Because of the matter is the way DeGrom has struggled in the A's game and the last 3 starts, and the way Fried pitches, you'll know right away the way Fried starts off the game. If he starts off throwing strikes with his breaking ball pitches, it's going to be a rough night for the Mets offense. Doesn't mean they can't hit him, but the same thing that goes for with DeGrom. DeGrom's got that nasty slider that starts out at the middle of the plate and drops and throwing 92, 93 miles an hour and throwing his 99 to 101 miles an hour fastball. It's going to be a rough day for both teams hitting. That's for damn sure. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I don't see any team sweeping in this series. Now, obviously, Brave fans want to sweep. Met fans want to sweep. We both love that respectfully for your own team. But I think both of these teams are too good to let a sweep happen. That's just my opinion. I do think that if the Mets win the first game, you're going to see the Braves really go absolutely hard in the next 2 games because they need those next 2 games. Look, the Braves respectfully need a sweep in this series to basically have a stranglehold on the NL East. If they sweep this series, obviously the Mets don't have the tiebreaker and the Braves can just have the tying record at the end of the season and the Mets will not win the division no matter what they do unless the Braves lose 2 out of 3 and the Mets sweep the Nationals. That's the only way it could happen. But the Mets take 1 game. We have the tiebreaker, which hurts the Braves. The Braves have to run the table, which they can easily do, but the Mets also have to lose 2 out of 3 as well, which, again, very possible at the end of the season. So we'll see, right? If Brave fans think the Braves are going to sweep the Mets and Met fans think the Mets are going to sweep the Braves, then I might as well end the broadcast. We might as well not watch the game and wait until the playoff starts, right? Because it's predictable, right? Well, it's not, right? Max Fried and Jacob DeGrom at their best might look crazy, right? They might look amazing. Or they both might look bad, and it might be very interesting what's going to happen today. But we'll see. The lineup is very similar to the other night when the Mets faced the lefty on the mound against the Marlins. The only difference is, Francisco Alvarez is in the lineup tonight that he just got called up. No, there's no tiebreaker at Citi Field. There is no 163. The tiebreaker goes to whoever has the tiebreaker and wins the division. There's no game 163. So that's about it. Well, yeah, Landon, I said that. They're winning right now, but they've been winning right now since April 5th. Like, they've been in first place that long. You've been in first place for 24 hours. That's it. Again, you need to sweep this series to have complete control over the NL East. You have the control by just winning your games if you sweep the Mets. if you don't sweep the Mets, now all the Mets have to do, the Braves have to. No, it's okay, Landon. It's okay. No problem. Again, I'm not looking. I can't see all the comments. They're flying up. So if I missed someone that asked the question or said something, then that's basically the way I look at it. So the Mets, if they win one game, they still only have to take care of their own business, because the Braves can't do better than the Mets if the Mets match the Braves. Again, we all think the Braves can sweep the Marlins. Again, there's no guarantee that the Mets can sweep the Nationals, because we've seen it all September. But we also seen the Braves, who should have took more games against the Philadelphia Phillies, should have took 2 more games against the Nationals. Both, if you look at, the Mets should have won this game, the Braves should have won this game. Well, if you look at it that way, then both teams screwed up and missed the opportunities. And you know what? The opportunity is here. There is no looking up at the scoreboard and saying, oh, look, the Mets are winning, oh, the Braves are winning, or whatever, vice versa. Landon, that's what I hope. I do like a really good pitching, because it's a little bit more fun to watch. The high-scoring games, I think both teams should be nervous if that happens, because this is the last start for Jacob deGrom and Max Fried before the playoffs, and you don't want to see them get rocked, right? You don't want to see deGrom give up 5 runs and Fried give up 5 runs, right? That's worrisome for both sides, especially going into the playoffs, when both of them might start game 1 of a playoff series, no matter if it's wild card or division series. That's not what we want. Now, if we get a great pitching matchup, it not only gives those 2 guys confidence going into the playoffs, but it gives the fans confidence. Like, all right, Jacob deGrom's back. All right, Max Fried is on his game. That's what you have to worry about as fans, right? Look, we're both making the playoffs. We both want to win the division, but we are both making the playoffs. We're both good enough. Even if one of us is going to be in the wild card series, both of us are confident that we're good enough to make a run in the playoffs, right? The 88-win Braves last year made a run through the World Series and won it, right? It doesn't matter how many wins we have when we get to the postseason. Nobody cares, right? Yeah, it might be cool to look at. Yeah, your seeding might be a little bit better. But you know what? Unfortunately, in the Mets and Braves situation, you can be the 2 seed, the 3 seed, and get stuck in a terrible bracket. Nobody wants to go through the Dodgers after the wild card series with probably starting your 3rd or 4th starter, because you had to use your first 2 or 3 starters in the wild card series to get to the DS, and you got to use it. Then when you get to the DS series against the Dodgers, now you might be starting your number 3 and number 4 starter. You know what I'm saying? That's not something you want to do, right? That you're already behind the 8 ball, right? I can assure you, Brave fans would rather have Max Fried game 1 in the division series against the Dodgers, and the Mets would want Jacob deGrom in game 1 against the Dodgers, instead of, in this case, Taijuan Walker or Carlos Carrasco, or in the Brave sense, your number 4, number 5 starter, right? That's basically what it might happen in that situation. That's why this division is so crucial for both teams. Anybody can beat anybody, right? If you play in that wild card series, depending on, we still can't really decide who's going to be in this playoff situation, the seeding the way it happens. But for the most part, you're either going to be playing the Brewers or the Phillies in that wild card series, or San Diego. So again, it's, any team can beat any team, right? You just have to wait and see. That's the best thing about the baseball playoffs. Is very much like the hockey playoffs now. Get in and see what happens. Basically what it is now. All right, so we got about 15 minutes until game time, so let's look at the lineups for tonight and the pitching matchup for tonight as well. Let me just share my screen. Give me 1 second, guys. All righty. Let me just change it over to a more pleasing background for you guys. Alrighty, so there we go. So the pitching matchup for tonight is obviously Jacob deGrom against Max Fried, 2 aces of a staff, 2 guys that can easily dominate a lineup. We'll see what happens. It's going to be fun. This is the series that everybody's been talking about for weeks, and here we are. September 30th, 3 games left, Mets Braves. 3 games in the series, 3 games left against each other, and then after that, we'll see if somebody takes control of the NL East or we end up tied going into the last 3 games of the season, which, let's be honest, if we're tied going into the last 3 games of the season, it's going to be bonkers, right? The Braves are going to Miami. The Mets are going to be home for the Nationals. So it's going to be crazy if that happens, but we'll see what happens. That's why we watch the game. So with that said, let's look at the lineups for both teams. So with the Mets, starting with the Mets first, Brandon Nimmo leading off, playing center field. Pete Alonso batting second, playing first base. Francisco Lindor, batting third, playing shortstop. Mark Canha cleaning up, playing left field. Jeff McNeil, right field, batting fifth. Eduardo Escobar, third base, batting sixth. Francisco Alvarez, DH and batting seventh in his first major league start in the biggest series of the year for both teams. Luis Guillorme batting eighth, playing second base. And thank God, Tomas Nido batting ninth and catching. That is your lineup against Max Fried for our New York Mets for the Braves. Ronald Acuna leading off, playing right field. Dansby Swanson, shortstop, playing second. Michael Harris, center field, batting third. Austin Riley cleaning up, playing third base. Matt Olson, first base, batting fifth. Travis d'Arnaud catching, batting sixth. William Contreras, DH and batting seventh. Eddie Rosario, left field, batting eighth. And Arcia, second base, batting ninth. That is your lineup against Jacob deGrom. You know, there's a lot of ways to look at this series, guys. There's no doubt about that, right? There's a lot of reasons to look at this, different ways to look at this game in general, right? Looking at this game in general, a lot of ways this can go, right? Freeze the type of guy, can't get his breaking ball over for a strike. Got to come with that fastball, even though his stuff is still nasty. Major league hitters hit fastballs right down the middle. So it depends on, you'll notice right away with Max Fried, most really good pitchers, usually you can tell how they're probably going to perform or what stuff they're going to have very early in the game. I think that's, if you're a Braves fan, you see that with Max Fried. If you're a Mets fan, you see that with Jacob deGrom. You see that all the time. We knew right away in Oakland that Jacob deGrom did not have his stuff, right? His slide wasn't as sharp. His fast, he had to come with his fastball, and Major League Baseball hitters hit fastballs. Very simple. So, you know, you can see it a lot of ways. If both of them don't have their right stuff in this game, you could see a 5-6 game, 6-5 game, something like that. The lineup take care of business. Lyon, he is really struggling, but he's the type of guy that figures it out. When he figures it out, he's nearly untouchable. But again, that's the same thing with Max Fried. Like I said, I said this yesterday. Max Fried, I look at the last month when it comes to a starting pitcher, Max Fried has pitched better than Jacob deGrom. If I look at just the stats over the last 3 or 4 starts, Max Fried has been better. But if both of them have their best stuff, Jacob deGrom's the better pitcher. But right now, I have to give the edge to Max Fried because of the fact he's pitched better over the last month. Plain fact. So, with that said, we got about a little over 10 minutes until game time, so you guys know what to do. Make sure you hit on that like button. Again, this is a platform for baseball fans. There's going to be a lot of Mets fans, obviously. There's going to be a lot of Brave fans. I expect to have those here. Once again, I said it in the beginning of the stream. Make sure you want to root for your team. You want to talk crap back and forth. Let's not have nothing personal, all right? There's going to be moderators on this stream today that are going to be looking for stuff like that because YouTube's been giving a big problem to a lot of sports channels based on a lot of racist comments, a lot of personal comments that shouldn't be said on a sports channel, right? If you want to look, if you can't tell it to anybody's face, don't say it on here. Put it that way. So that's what's going to happen, all right? We got enough moderators in here. Usually I don't tell them to block anybody. Right? I'll be in charge of blocking people. But because these games are going to be very emotional, and we all know about that, they're going to be very emotional for both sides. Win or lose. Make sure you keep it straight baseball. If you keep it straight baseball, you're not going to get blocked. You're not going to get timed out, right? I'll give people chances. You're going to get timed out every now and then if you go past that line a little bit, right? We're here to watch baseball, right? We are all baseball fans. We might root for different teams, but we all have the same agenda, right? Lion, I never underestimate the impact of the Braves fan. But you guys don't show up when you lose. That's a fact. Like, you guys fly away when you're losing. It's look at my streams. When the Braves win, Mets lose, there's about 50 Brave fans that pop onto the stream at the end of the stream. Never in the beginning. Some of them might come in the beginning. Like, Lion, JL, Bravos, you guys always come in and hang around, stick around. You don't, Lion, you push the buttons a little bit, but I think you do it just to push the button a little bit, but not to do it as an ass most times. But again, the impact of Brave fans, the problem is that Brave fans only come around when the Braves are winning and the Mets are losing. That's it. It's a fact. You see it in the stream all the time. If you don't believe me, go watch the end of streams when the Mets win or the Mets lose or the Braves lose and the Mets win. It's basically what happens. And again, I don't care if you do that, but don't come in and troll Met fans when you're only winning, and then you nowhere to be found to take the trolling from Met fans when the Braves lose. That's the only problem I have. I had it with Yankee fans, and I destroyed Philly fans. I did it during that series when the Braves were only 5 games out of first place, and they were right behind us and the Braves. I said it to them. They were coming, we're going to take over first place. We're going to pass both you guys. And as soon as the Phillies got destroyed by the Mets, and the Phillies were nowhere to be found, and they ended up being 9 games out, they were gone. They were nowhere to be found. And I haven't seen a Philly fan on this channel for about a month now. So that's the problem I have. And I do have a problem with that with Met fans as well, going on to other channels. Don't troll Brave channels and stay there and troll when the Mets are winning and the Braves are losing, and then you're not on the channel when the Mets are losing and the Braves are winning. It's not fair. It's stupid. You're not 15 years old, all right? If you're an adult, act like one. If you want to bring the heat when your team's winning and the other team's losing, be here when it's the opposite way. Because I don't shut up the stream when I know the Mets are going to lose in the 9th inning. I keep it on and take it, because that's what you're supposed to do as a fan, right? I'm here. I have nowhere to go. I have a channel. If I end my stream right now, if the Mets are losing, you guys are going to come at me on the comment section and say I'm a hypocrite. But I'm here to take it. That's the whole point of being a fan, is to talk back and forth. That's the whole fun part, right? That's why it's so fun. If it was only Mets fan in the channel, which some channels are that way, Brave channels like to have a lot of Brave fans and block most Met fans. I know that Met channels do that as well with other fans. That's okay. I try to be different. I try to be respectful for a fan base that doesn't root for my team. But if you cross the line and be more than just a baseball fan and make it personal, I'm going to have a problem with you, because I never make it personal until you make it personal. There's no problem with me doing that. I have no problem with doing that. I got into Phillies fans' faces in Citizens Bank when they came up to me. I'm not afraid to do it. I tell you that right now. I'm not no social media bully, all right? If I'm in your ballpark and you step up to me and act like a child, I will make sure I step right back up to you and do it in an adult way where you're going to go crying to your mother, all right? So that's how it's going to go. So make sure you root for your Braves. The Braves score, have fun. Bring it, right? That's the whole idea. But don't show up when your team is losing. You're not going to show up. We're not going to take you seriously. That's the problem. Why do you think Bravos and JL are respected in this channel? They go back and forth with Met fans, but they're respected because of the fact that they have good they have good comments, they have good opinions. When their team is winning, they're here. When their team is losing, they stay here. They take it, but they see that the Braves had opportunities to take over the division many times this month, but they did not do it. But they knew that. They didn't say, the Braves are winning the division. Well, there's no facts in that yet until they do so. Right? You can't keep on claiming that for 5 months and the Braves still haven't done it. Until they do it, please bring it. The Braves sweep this series, bring it. I'll be here all 3 games. Please bring it. I respect you more if you're here when you're getting beat down if the Mets are beating the Braves and you're here and taking it just as much as I will be here. Alien, tell Ken. Ken is one of the moderators right now. So again, there's about 7 or 8 moderators in this stream today because of YouTube's policy and giving sports channels a hard time with personal racist vendettas that are happening in the comments. So I had to do it. So that's how it goes. Again, from day one, I do not block many people. There's a few that I do, but I definitely respect baseball fans. Like I said, there's about half of my subscribers that are not Mets fans. There's a reason for that, because I want them to come on the channel. I want them to root for their team. Brave fans, Philly fans, Yankee fans, Met fans, obviously, Braves fans, right? I even get a National fan every once in a while, right? And a Marlins fan that might be 1 out of 1 or 2. That's basically it. So, like I said, we're all here for the same thing. The best part about the lockout regarding my channel was the fact that Dodger fans, Brave fans, Met fans, Philly fans, Yankee fans, all types of fans came on the channel because we had one goal: get baseball back. And we voiced our frustration right here on this channel every single day. From MLB meetings, negotiations, day 1 until day 7. I went live for 5 or 6 hours every single day updating you guys on the MLB lockout. And we came together and voiced our frustration because we are baseball fans. That's what we always have to remember. And I think a lot of people, including Met fans, forgot exactly what it took to get to this point. There could have been no baseball because of the stupid lockout. And that would have been even more frustrating than having a series that can determine the NL East. So with that said, game time, game's about to start, 3 minutes away. Mets, Braves, game 1. DeGrom, Fried, Alonso, Olsen, Lindor, Swanson. Oh boy, it's going to be a lot of fun today. I think most of us are probably up in the air on what's really going to happen. Like, usually you can go into feeling confident, but I don't know what we're going to get from Jacob DeGrom. I'm not sure if Max Fried is going to have 5 good starts in a row. I don't know. I do know the Braves lineup is better than the Mets. I do know the Braves lineup strikes out a ton. I do know Jacob DeGrom, Scherzer, and Bassett strike out guys. I do know the lineup without Marte isn't as long as it would be if Marte was in there. But if you notice, this is the first time I brought up Marte in the first 42 minutes of the stream, because there is no excuses. I don't care if Marte's not in the lineup. There is no excuse, right? That's it. Very simple. Atlanta better be rocking tonight, but they also better stay if the Mets beat them too, right? Yeah, well, Lion, I don't like those fans, and I'm very, very fair when it comes to that, right? I respond to everybody in my comment section. If the stream ends, the Mets lose, and people comment to me, 420 has, Lion, you have, JL, Bravos, all you guys comment on my channel after the Mets lose and talk your game, which is great. And I respond back to you because you're a baseball fan. Not because you're a Braves fan and I'm supposed to be sour about that. That's not fair. That's not fair to you guys. And I respect the same respect back. That's all. But you know what? Most of those fans are front runners. If you can't take it when your team loses, don't give it when your team wins. I hate that more than anything else. It's second to bandwagon fans. And listen, I live in a town where there's a ton of bandwagon Yankee fans. All right. So I know. Trust me. So with that said, 1 minute until game time. You guys know the drill. Game day is coming up. Here we go, guys. Mets, Braves, game 1. Game 157 of the year. Make sure you can hear the stream. I'm going to put up the volume now. Here we go. Listen up. Make sure you tell me in the comments if you can hear the stream. If you hear the the TV call. Sorry. There we go, guys. Let me know if you can hear it.
Huge game tonight against one of the best lefties in baseball in Max Fried. Max Fried labored in his last start against the Phillies. 5 innings. It took him 107.
All right, you guys can hear it. Let me know before the game starts. It's about to start, guys. Here we go.
Game against the Mets August 6th at Citi Field, chasing after an errant throw. He banged his head and his shoulder against the turf.
By the way, I'm so glad they're showing that bad fall by Fried at Citi Field in August. He hit his head so hard. I'm actually glad he's okay because that looked scary. I was at that game. That looked really scary. But he's okay, and that's what's most important, right? Oh, yeah, that's a 7-line mug, the home run apple mug. All right, guys, good luck to both teams, mostly the Mets, but good luck. Here we go, guys. First pitch is coming. Little past 7:20. Here we go, guys. Don't forget to hit on that like button, everybody. Let's get more in this stream.
Gets a start over Grissom. Rosario, Harris the second, and Acuna Jr. Harris the second, the best arm of that group.
All right, here comes first pitch.
There we go. Nimmo won a 3
Come on, Brendan.
bats in the lineup tonight against Fried. Just 3 for 21 lifetime against Max. First pitch of the night, a fastball on the inside corner for a strike. And we're underway. Nimmo starts today 7th in the National League in on-base percentage with a career-high 99 runs scored, looking for his first ever 100 runs scored season. And he rips one down the right field line.
Foul ball. Good swing there. Got really ahead of that fastball.
What happens in these series, Gary, when teams have been facing each other so many times, know each other over the course of the year, is that what team makes the adjustment to all the familiarities that you have with your opponent?
Scott, anytime, buddy.
How do you make an adjustment?
It's going to be fun.
Get out of the inning? Brian Snitker led his team to a World Series title last year. They were ambling along at the end of May, but since then they have been just incredibly hot. Then we got jammed and fouled it off.
So what I see so far from Fried, he is throwing his breaking balls for strikes, so that's a good sign for him so far. But hasn't located his fastball yet. That fastball that Nimmo pulled to the right side was right down the middle. So breaking ball looks good. Fastball still has a little issue with locating, but it's only 3 pitches.
10.5 games in the standings to get even before they lost on Wednesday, and the Mets won to put the Mets a game in front. 0-2 to Nimmo with Alonso next, and Brandon takes change-up low and in, and it's 1-2. That's an adjustment already, Gary. Usually against Nimmo, you've seen
it is, Matty, but Fried has such nasty stuff. Still might not matter. You get up to that fastball because he might not be throwing that fastball in big counts.
Improved pitch this year. The OPS against his changeup is the 5th lowest in the major leagues.
Nice pitch. That's a great curveball. Again, he's throwing that for a strike. I mean, that wasn't a strike, but it was right over the plate, low. Good start for Fried. Look where that started. That started letter high and ended up at his ankles. That's the curveball that if he throws that all game, it's going to be a rough day for the Mets.
Look at Kershaw to learn his curveball. He looked at film of Sandy Koufax to learn his curveball. You got to go to the source. It was Pete Alonso. Pete took it over on Wednesday, but he has been raging hot, especially with that.
Once again, Fried throwing that curveball for a strike or around the strike zone. Very good sign for Fried right now. Pete Alonso is 8 for 30, 267 with 2 home runs against Fried in his career.
Of anybody in the major leagues, he's got 2 career home runs against Fried in 30 at bats. You know, the shift so far is a lot less than we see from a lot of teams that try to play Pete all the way on the left side. He lines one to center field. That's going to.
And that's a base hit for Alonso. 1 out. There you go. That's a good sign for Pete Alonso right there. Level swing. That's when he's at his best. Good start for Pete Alonso. 1 on, 1 out. Lindor coming up. Balanced swing, level swing. I'm drinking coffee right now.
Defense of the outfield has been playing real deep so far first two hitters, drops in front of Harris. So the Mets with one out and one on, and now Francisco Lindor, who begins.
Lindor is 18 for 62, batting .290, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs, 1 stolen base this season against the Braves. So he's been very good against the
He
Braves.
takes a first pitch curveball.
A lot of first pitch curveballs by Fried.
He's thrown at least one curveball to each of the first three hitters. Lindor hasn't done much against Fried, just 3 for 21 with a home run. And that breaking ball bounced toward third. Riley is going to make the crossbody throw.
Nice play. Nice play by Riley to get the force play at second, 2 outs.
Nice play by Riley.
That was not an easy play. Thrown across his body to get the force out at second. Not easy with the bag right in front of him.
But that's a smart play with the speed of Lindor. Riley knows that he can make that crossbody throw to Arcia because
no problem, Manny. Anytime.
An incredibly athletic play, and this defense for the Braves is top notch.
2 outs, 1 on. Kind of coming up.
So a 2-out Lindor now at first, and if you're thinking stolen base, you have to be wary with Fried on the mound because Max has one of the best pickoff moves in baseball. 3 pickoffs this year, 23 in his career, and only 3 stolen bases against him all season. Marcana the batter, and he takes one on the corner, a changeup for a strike, 0-1.
Throwing a lot of first pitch breaking balls or off-speed pitches in the first inning. Not a lot of fastballs in his first 10 pitches of the inning.
Fried's now 28 years old. And Canna fouls off the curveball, and it's 0-2. Mark's done well against Fried in the past, 4 for 10 with a couple of home runs.
I don't know either, but Canna has hit in a lot of big games this year for the Mets, so maybe that's the reason.
Fans and the bench, they feel like it's win day whenever Fried's on the mound. His personal record in his career is 53 and 25. Comes off a 1-0 loss to the Phillies his last time out. That was 8 days ago. They gave up several extra days of rest to set him up for this series. See the move by Fried. So a little tell for Fried there with runners on base. When he's going to go to first, he'll raise that knee a little slower than he does when he goes to the plate. See if the Mets can get a read on that over the course of this game. Lindor 16 steals this year. He's been caught 6 times. To Canna. That curve spins outside, 1-2.
Once again, guys, Mets versus Braves live stream here right on the channel. Make sure you hit on that like button, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
Games at Truist Park this year. They've gone 3-4 in those 7 games. They won the first series here, but then lost 3 of 4 the last time they were here in August. Short lead for Lindor. 1-2 to Canna.
Foul ball, foul ball.
Into the ground. It's still 1-2.
End the lockout, Joe.
There's Francisco Alvarez. They didn't ask him to do any catching duties today. No warming up pitchers in the bullpen. No going over scouting reports. They wanted to strictly to get ready to hit. Keep the information people away from him. Just let the talent flow. He's batting 7th in the order.
13 pitches for Fried, 2 outs, 1 on, 1-2 count to Canna. No score.
20-year-old. 1-2 to Canna. Now the curveball slowly toward third, and that ball stays fair. No, goes foul.
Foul ball, foul ball, foul ball.
Base umpire Ted Barrett,
Jeez,
but
come on, third base guy. Let's go. You got to let the fielder know. You got to make the call quicker. Give the fielder a chance. Jesus.
Ted Barrett. We've got to kind of peek around him. But the youngest member of the quartet, Nick Lentz, calling the balls and strikes tonight. Bruce Dreckman, Mike Esterbrook, and the veteran Ted Barrett. You know, I've always asked this question. I've never got the answer to it. Do you think they rejigger the umpires for big series like this? I do not. I don't think so as well. Matthew Kaminsky, the Braves organist, finishing the Final Jeopardy theme just as Canna gets back in the batter's box. This is Jim. Freed ahead of Canna 1-2. And he pulls one on the ground.
Should end the inning, and it does. All right, top of the first. Mets don't score. Lindor gets Pete Alonso gets the one hit in the inning, and going to the bottom of the first, no score. Braves are coming up. DeGrom coming on the mound. Once again, guys, thank you for tuning in. Mets versus Braves, NL East showdown right here. Series that could determine the NL East. The winner of this division goes straight to the NLDS and gets a little bit of a bye, and the loser goes to the wild card round facing who knows yet. But that is ramifications of this series. Again, it might not determine the division as of yet, depending on what happens in the 3-game set, but definitely can make it a little bit easier for one of the two teams if they take advantage of winning this series. Again, 1 game for the Mets gives them the tiebreaker. 2 games for the Mets gives them a chance to clinch the division at Citi Field. Only have to win 1 game to give the Mets the division title. I think the Braves really do need to sweep to really make it, to put it in their hands, because any other way, 1 game or 2 games that goes to the Mets gives the Mets still the upper hand going into the last 3 games of the season. DeGrom is coming onto the mound. If you're a Mets fan, if you're just a baseball fan in general, majority of the people were shocked what happened in Oakland. The Mets gave him a 3-0 lead, and he had nothing against Oakland. And yes, Davin, Alvarez is hitting 7, DHing. So we'll see. The last 3 starts, he hasn't been Jacob DeGrom. Again, Jacob DeGrom in his career, when you think that he might not have it because he looked bad his last couple of starts, he comes out and pitches a gem. Again, still to be determined. We shall see. But the Mets didn't score in the first. Braves are coming up in the bottom of the first. Jacob DeGrom looking to rebound after his awful start in Oakland. Let's see if he can do that. Let's be honest, the Mets need him. We shall see. So here he is, Jacob DeGrom on the mound. Game 157. Bottom of the first, no score.
In a big game tonight. Good numbers, Gary. 11-to-1 ratio of strikeouts and 2 walks. There's the Hyundai starting lineup for the Braves. Notable by his absence, Vaughn Grissom, the young second baseman. They're going with the veteran Orlando Arcia instead. Michael Harris has earned his way into the 3rd spot in the batting order with a remarkable rookie season. Ronald Acuna leads off against DeGrom, and his first pitch is fouled away, 0-1. Saw a lot of that in Oakland when he went through a difficult outing.
Look for the Braves to swing early in counts.
That was a young Oakland team. Acuna right on top of it.
Oakland did that in the start against DeGrom, and it worked. Let's see if the Braves do the same thing.
Never given up 4 runs in the first inning of a game in his career. Acuna holds the swing on a fastball away at 100 miles an hour, 1-1. Acuna's been in and out of the lineup lately.
Albert, how you doing, buddy?
He said it a couple of months ago after the series with the Mets that his knee does not always feel right this year, more than a year after tearing his ACL. He grounds one short, Lindor in front of it. Acuna
all right, 1 out. Good start.
Stride, 1 away.
Good start. You see DeGrom located that fastball a little bit better than he did in Oakland. A lot of his fastballs were right down the middle. He stood on the corner against Acuna in that one. Got him to pull an outside pitch, which usually ends up in grounders.
He's been on a tear, and McNeil in right field. That defense is the one that makes up for the loss of Marche. So 1 out and nobody on that. Dansby Swanson.
Excuse me.
Moving to DeGrom ahead of Bassett in the rotation. This would have been Chris's spot. He's going to go Sunday in the final game of the series.
One of my favorite players is Dansby Swanson.
99s and 100s in his first few pitches.
He's one of those linchpins that you need to win a championship. Clearly, he was one of them for the Braves.
Swanson had the home run that broke up his no-hit bid in New York, his second start Off the injured list this year, that came Swanson's third time around. Sixth inning has been the biggest issue for DeGrom this year.
Woo. All right, just off the plate, looked like a little low and outside. Close enough. Bogey. That's right.
So since the start of 2020, he's played in more games than anybody else.
Like to see Pete on that list.
Swanson, 28-year-old impending free agent. And he swings
Woo.
to the fastball.
All right, DeGrom is located in that fastball. Once again, if he stays a little belt high and a little under the letters with that fastball, big strikeout team in the Braves, they're going to be swinging. They're a swinging team. They don't take a lot of walks. All fastballs for DeGrom so far.
But there's a lot of no contact. And just got a piece of that slider.
That was a good slider, but a nice swing and a nice way to stay in the at-bat for Swanson there.
That's a good philosophy to have.
As a Buck said the other day, he said, you got to swing, got to hit to walk. You can't walk to hit. Michael Harris on deck. 1-2 coming to Swanson. And he
Got him with the slider, 2 outs.
So DeGrom's got his first strikeout of the night, his 92nd.
So that wasn't a good slider, but what he did there was he was throwing them all fastballs except for the last 2 pitches. Again, it was started on the outside and just completely dropped. It wasn't a good pitch, but when you throw a lot of those fastballs, you've seen him leaning, you've seen him looking in, and that's where it went right there. So good stuff for Jacob DeGrom so far. And one of the most exciting players ever since the Braves caught him up, Michael Harris. Basically the spark plug that got the Braves rolling in the end of May.
Just 21 years old. He's hit with power, he's fielded, he's got a great arm, he's got great enthusiasm. He's a Georgia
Delight, what's up, buddy? Absolutely, man.
He has done everything the Braves could have possibly.
Once again, guys, 2 outs, bottom of the first, no score. Don't forget to hit on that like button. Thank you for tuning in to Mets versus Braves.
The catalyst for this team that won the World Series last year, when Acuna went down, they acquired Rosario, Duvall, and Soler.
Absolutely,
This year,
Eric.
like Gary said,
Look, they know how to.
And it was brought up really to play defense.
Hold on one second.
From Double-A, and his OPS
Just
at
outside.
the big league level is
Look, they know times. They're one of the better organizations in baseball with developing players. There's no doubt about that.
Six-game tryout.
Wild, what's up, buddy?
2-1 to Harris, who struck out in all 4 of his at-bats against DeGrom first time he faced him. He gets a high one that
Well,
time.
that was a hanging slider that Harris missed, so that wasn't a good slider by DeGrom. 12 pitches for DeGrom, 2 outs, 2-2 count to Harris. Come on, Jake, let's go.
Harris with 2 out and nobody on. Austin Riley would be next.
Got him with the slider. 3 outs. Good start by Jacob DeGrom. 2 strikeouts in the inning for DeGrom. Again, his slider wasn't exactly on par, but again, when they're looking to swing early at his fastball, that slider looks nasty when he's looking fastball. So 3 outs, going to the top of the second. Mets, Braves, no score. So both pitchers looked pretty good. So far, so good. Again, what do you expect from really good pitchers, right? Nothing else but really good starts, right? That's what we're expecting. And so far, so good, right? But it is only 1 inning. Again, DeGrom, I think he threw 13 pitches in this inning. 13 pitches. He threw 9 fastballs. So both of the sliders were on strikeouts, swinging. So we'll see what happens. But we're going to the top of the second. The Mets do have a hit. Alonso got the first hit of the ball game, but the Mets couldn't do anything in the first. See what they do at the top of the second. It's going to be 5, 6, and 7 for the Mets. Going to have McNeil, Escobar, and Alvarez. Alvarez is going to get his first at-bat as in Major League Baseball as a New York Met, number 1 prospect in the Met system, and number 1 overall prospect in Major League Baseball. That is only a number. that is only a prediction. He has to prove it. He's proved it at every level so far, but he's got to prove it up here. And again, he's in a big spot. It's not the easiest place to be in a division race to throw a kid like that. But again, everybody says that he's a confident kid. He's just a pure hitter. Well, we got to see it, right? I don't care if it's against one of the better pitchers in the game in Max Fried. Get it done. Very simple. It's the way I see it. You know, Brett Beatty came up against the Braves in his first at-bat, hits a home run. But he didn't do much after that. So, and then he got hurt. Hopefully it's different with Alvarez, because there's a pretty good chance that Alvarez might be on the postseason roster if he performs, because we need that right-handed bat at the DH spot. But we'll see. So far, no score. Top of the second, Jeff McNeil leading off. Here we go.
Did well against Fried. 360 lifetime and 25 at bats, and Fried throws a fastball by him.
Braves fans, listen up. Does Fried fastball usually be at around 92, 93? I thought he throws like 95, 96. I don't know if that's just me or that's what he usually throws, because if that's the case, he's throwing his fastball not as hard as he usually does. I could be wrong, but I'm not 100%. Again, I don't watch Fried every day. Okay, so it is around 92. Okay, I just wasn't sure.
Braves don't shift as much as many teams do. I've seen that already tonight.
A lot of it's the talent, athleticism of their infield.
So he is throwing it. Okay, so all right, so he's a little under his average. Interesting. Because he's only throwing, like, he threw a 92 miles an hour fastball, 93. I don't know if he's like pulling it back a little bit, because I don't know if that's worrisome to you guys or not, but he's pitching well so far in the first. I don't know if he doesn't want to overthrow. So, I don't know. I just picked that up. I was curious.
McNeil leading off in the second in a scoreless game. And he takes a slider.
Ooh, close.
Good take there.
Well, listen, I like umpires who keep it consistent. You call it for both teams, I don't care. It could be 10 feet out of the strike zone. If you call it for both teams, I don't care. Yeah, I mean, he has giddy up on the fastball no matter what, and he's still nasty, so.
Fried doesn't walk many, 1.6 walks per 9 innings. And he gets the slider in for a strike.
He threw that get me over slider that McNeil was just not looking for. But it was, you know what? It was a good pitch because you got the hitter fooled. Yeah, Bravos. That's why I seen him. Like, I remember the last time I seen him, 95, 96. That's why it's a little odd. Again, if you locate, it doesn't really matter, but it's a little odd. McNeil hits that might. Oh, that's an out. Oh, he dropped it. He lost it in the lights. Oh. Oh, wow. You don't expect the home team to have problems with that. They usually have an adjustment in the way. Wow. Well, that's. I don't know if they're going to call that an error, but.
Now the bank had lights that work towards left and right field.
Wow, that's a mistake. Okay, well, that's a break that the Mets shouldn't have got. Well, McNeil's on with nobody on in the second. All right, Escobar, who had 5 RBIs in the game against the Marlins, see if he can stay hot. Ooh, curveball outside. Should have been a ball, but called it a strike. As long as he's consistent, it don't bother me. I don't think it was the pressure with Rosario. Too much of a veteran. I just think he lost it. It happens.
8th inning, 2-run single. 10th inning, walk-off hit. 5 RBIs and a 5-4 win.
All right, so you see Fried with his breaking ball right now, having a little issue controlling it. A little wild right now. 23 pitches with no outs in the second. He could have, but I think he saw Rosario looking like he was under it, but that happens, you know, unfortunately. The lights are always set up in a bad area on these fields, so.
Feels like 25% of the time right now.
Come on, Eddie. Let's go.
1-1 to Escobar with Alvarez waiting on deck. And the fastball line
base hit. First and second, nobody out. There we go. Escobar, Mr. September this year, man. Hasn't performed well all year. And in September, he's been the best Met offensively. Just been amazing. All right, here we go. Francisco Alvarez coming to the plate with 2 men on and nobody out. 67 games in AA, 922 OPS, 18 home runs, 47 RBIs, 45 games in AAA. And they're showing his parents right now. All right, here we go. Alvarez got men on with nobody out. Let's see what he can do. Let's see if he stays within himself.
The Mets not getting much from their right-handed DHs. Here he is, 20 years old. If the first pitch sharply grabbed by Riley, throw it from his knees, gets the out at second.
Oh, that sucks. He crushed that pitch. All right. Well, can't do nothing about that. Good play by Riley there. Nice play by Riley to turn that double play. That was ripped, too.
Well, they hit home runs, and that's what you talk about most of the time. But you forget about
nice play.
This defense is.
Absolutely nice play. That was not an easy hop.
It hit right on where the grass and the dirt meet, and that's what brought him to his knees. It skipped on him. Nice turn.
Nice turn. The Mets got a man on third with 2 outs.
I see you.
Yeah, you saw that rocket. Like, that was not a pitch. That Free probably wanted that pitch back. All right, so the Mets have still a guy in scoring position with 2 outs with Guillorme up.
Guillorme takes the sinker down for ball 1.
Watch this carry.
Yeah, so far Riley has did his job. Oh yeah, that's not an easy play. Oof. That was not an easy hop. That's why you give the big contract to Riley, right? Not just offensively, because of his defense as well. All right, Guillorme is having good at-bats lately. Let's see if he can get this run in.
Takes outside 2-0.
Nope, you can't. You got to tip your cap on that one.
Lately, just 1 for his last 16.
He crushed that ball. Well, Bravo's not to me. I know Riley's a good defensive player, but I know people around the league. I mean, this guy is probably not going to win a Gold Glove, and that's a joke.
Freed behind him 2-0. Thomas Nino would be next. And that's line to left center field, falling fast.
Oh, he dropped it. 1-0 Mets. 2 bad plays by Rosario, giving the Mets a 1-0 lead. Mistakes are costing the Braves right now. Wow. 2 bad plays by Rosario in left field give the Mets a 1-0 lead.
Listen, that's Rosario is in
Stoney, what's up, buddy?
Offense. He's never been known as a good defensive outfielder. He made a nice play to come on.
I mean, he was there. He just missed it. All right, so Mets get a break. 2 costly mistakes by Rosario, giving the Mets chances in this inning, and the Mets capitalize, taking a 1-0 lead. Nito on with 2 outs. Nito at bat with 2 outs and 1 on. 1-0 Mets. Mets have had a lot of hard hit balls against Free so far.
Start this year, and then he had eye surgery because he was not seeing properly. He had a condition that required surgery, and who knows if that affects him at all in the field.
Yeah, Fried is a little wild right now. Fried is one of those guys. Defense don't help him out. He gets a little flustered there. If it wasn't for Riley making great plays so far, the Mets might have a couple of runs already. Nito's been good this year. I love Nito at the plate this year. Not a 300 hitter, but he's definitely gives quality at bats. He's in a hitter's count here. Ooh, not a good pitch by Fried right there. Basically a get me over fastball.
Well, the Mets have been great when they get ahead. It's a tribute to how good.
Good start by the Mets. Good start by the Mets. 1-0 Mets. Top of the second. 2 mistakes by Rosario, giving the Mets the opportunity to score that first run of the ball game. 31 pitches for Fried.
Have a good record. That will always be the case.
2-1 to Nito. Nimmo would be next. And Nito fights it off, and it's 2-2.
That was a better pitch. A little bit higher in the zone.
Well, after McNeil,
yeah, I don't care about defensive metrics when it comes to Riley or any other defensive player. I'm sorry. You see Riley play defense, you know he's a Gold Glove caliber player. I just Whoever makes these decisions for the Gold Glove are just stupid.
All hitting it sharply.
All right, Tomasino 2-2 count. Man on first, 1-0 Mets.
Now Nito with a 2-2 count.
Ball 3.
Offer at the curve.
All right, so
Straight
full
to
count.
Free pitching carefully.
Guillorme will be running on the pitch.
I think he has a game plan and he's sticking to it.
And Nito, it has been very good in situations like this. A ball in the gap will score Guillorme.
We saw him in a game
Base hit
this season.
will definitely get him to third base when he's running on the pitch.
Doesn't happen often. Walked 5 in that game. Guillorme gets set to run.
Looks like a high fastball is going to come. There it goes. He fouled it off. That's a good pitch by Freed, but a better by Nito to foul that ball off.
I wonder whether that has an impact.
Hasn't pitched in 8 days. This has not been a straight line season for Freed. Usually rattles off a consecutive good.
Once again, guys, thank you for tuning in to Mets versus Braves Game 1. NLE Showdown. Don't forget to please hit on that like button and say what's up, and let me know where you're from if you're a new subscriber. Nito pops it up. That might drop. Good play by Acuna getting down that line. He's not 100%, but he gets that ball to right field. 1-0 Mets from 2 mistakes by Rosario, giving the Mets the opportunity to score 1 run. Once again, guys, don't forget to hit on that like button. We're going to the bottom of the second. Mets lead 1-0. I always feel Rosario, he's a veteran. You always got to watch out for guys who make mistakes on the field who come up to the plate because they always try to get redemption. And that's what you always worry about with those type of players. He's a veteran guy. He's not a great defensive outfielder, but he makes those plays 9 out of 10 times. Costly mistake is not going to just cost you the game right away. But we'll see. DeGrom's got to match what he did in the first inning. The last time the Mets gave DeGrom a lead, he gave it right back rather quickly. So he's working with a lead now. I know it's only 1 run, but still. So we already got 300 in the stream. I did expect a big crowd tonight, so let's have a lot of fun. Enjoy, Mets fans, Brave fans. Keep it respectful. Keep it PG. Keep it baseball related, and we'll have a lot of fun. Win or lose, it's still a lot of fun. I think it's just the most fun that we can have for a season before the playoffs start, right? So we're just waiting for the game to come back. Mets lead 1-0. If you're just tuning in, if you're a new subscriber, please say what's up and let me know where you're from. And if you're a Braves fan, just say what's up. No problem with that. Joselito, what's up, buddy? Of course. I think I know you rather well. Part of the family, man. Of course I know you. Alien true, but let's be honest. There's nobody that wants to be in that wild card series. You just don't. All right, Matthew from Nebraska. Fan since 85. Love it. Nebraska, Cornhusker country. All right. Here we go. Bottom of the second. 1-0 lead for the Mets. 4 hits by the Mets. No runs, no hits for the Braves. Coming up in the bottom of the second. Trailing by 1. Thumper for Bangkok. All right. Nice. Awesome.
Riley, 37 home runs, 3rd in the National League. And he takes one just off the corner for ball 1.
Albino from Texas. Love it. All right.
Riley's got 2 career home runs against DeGrom.
That's a shot. It might be gone. It's gone. Austin Riley. Well, somebody's playing for the Braves today. Ties the game right off the bat on the second pitch after the Mets give DeGrom a 1-0 lead. That was the pitch that he shouldn't have thrown. Austin Riley came to play.
Well, that's what the Braves do. They're 230.
Again, you keep them in the ballpark, you have a good chance of winning. But they're a home run hitting team for a reason. Right down the middle. Look at that pitch. Ooh, no. That's what DeGrom can't do. That was a a cement mixer right to
415 feet.
Riley, and that's what you're going to get from Riley. He showed up and played so far. Here we go. 1-1. Back to a tie game. Matt Olson, who's starting to get hit a little bit for the Mets. For the Braves.
Olson has recently recovered from a very deep slump.
And he's another guy that you make a mistake, he will kill it.
For 14 with a couple of home runs after a
Riley should get some MVP votes. No doubt. I mean, he's not going to win the MVP, but he should get some votes for sure. Top 3 for sure. Top 4 probably. DeGrom's got to go back. That's it. You got to get it back together.
his 30th home run the other day against the Nats.
You give up a home run,
Each
you got to get it
three
back,
full
right?
seasons,
That's how it
6
goes.
players to do that, including Pete Alonso.
Well, both teams made mistakes so far. Rosario made a mistake to give the Mets the run. DeGrom drew a cookie up there to give Riley a home run.
He takes the slider low and in, and it's 2-1. That's what the Braves do. They strike out a lot. They don't walk a lot, but they hit home runs. That's why they're second in the National League in runs scored.
Just a bit outside.
Just missed it. It's 3-1.
Olson's 4 for his last 9. A couple of home runs and a couple of walks.
Travis d'Arnaud, who's done lots of damage against his old team since the Mets let him go, waits on deck. DeGrom behind in the count, 3-1. And Olson.
That's fine. Goodbye. 2-1 Braves. Matt Olson with a crusher to right center field. Back-to-back home runs for the Braves. That was another bad pitch by Jacob DeGrom, and that's exactly what you don't want to see from Jacob DeGrom. And Olson getting hot at the right time. Both on the fastball. And I think what JL just said, I think it was JL. Let's see. Bravo, excuse me. What happened? And you just said it. He didn't throw the slider, he threw the fastball. Right down the middle. You can't do that, and that's exactly what this team does. That was a shot for Olson. All right, back-to-back home runs for the Braves. This is how they win, no doubt about it. Once again, Jacob DeGrom gave up the lead once the Mets gave it to him. I mean, he's not hurt. He threw 2 bad pitches. He threw a cement mixer to Riley and throwing a fastball right down the middle of Olson. You ain't the highest home run hitting team in the league if you can't hit those, right? Well, he's missing his spots. It's very simple.
Well, they found a lot of the middle of the plate against Oakland, and it cost them.
See, that's what he was trying to throw to Riley. A little bit inside, low, and it tied up to d'Arnaud. It didn't tie up Riley because he threw it down the middle of the plate. Look at that pitch right here by Riley. Jesus. That was a shot. That was a shot by Olson there. Yeah, Lion, I said that.
430 feet on Olson's home run.
Sorry about that, but guys, it went crazy. It went crazy for a second. I don't know what happened. Sorry about that.
That fastball caught the corner, 0-2.
So you see the adjustment by DeGrom now.
I had a glitch. I don't know what happened.
1 to d'Arnaud, 2 to Contreras, coming inside on the right.
All right, sorry about that. All right, here's the slider that you want. 2 outs. You know, I think DeGrom's getting a little, he's liking his fastball a little bit too much and not throwing his slider right now.
season, he was able to primarily stay outside. But the 2 home runs will kind of slap you in the face.
Well, the problem for DeGrom is that if you look at the start against the Braves in New York, when he retired the first 17 batters and struck out 12 of the 17, is that his slider that day was just about perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so you got 2 outs. Braves came back after the Mets take the lead in the second. Came right back on a back-to-back home runs by Riley and Olsen.
18 misses. I think it was the first 18. Was Eddie Rosario. It's nice by the Braves fans after Rosario had a rough
Dylan, you're right.
inning in the
But
field.
again, he still was on a terrible slump in September, right? He's only recently got hot.
Through the National League Championship Series last year, the MVP, when he only went 14 for 20.
He's been hot the last, 4 games?
9 RBI.
It's 560.
Yes, it is.
Down here. 560.
Be careful with Rosario here. He's looking for redemption. He's a fan favorite, especially after the World Series performance he had last year. Playoffs, for that matter.
Jake's 1-1, and he comes inside with a slider and did not get a swing. 1-2.
29 pitches for DeGrom with 2 outs in the second. Dylan, that was just unfortunate, man, for real. The lights, man, that's just unfortunate. I don't know about the second play, but definitely the first one was the lights. DeGrom is just missing off the plate here. And you know what? He's getting behind in counts, and he's got to come with the fastball, and they're hitting it. I don't care how hard you throw. You throw a fastball down the middle, major league hitters are going to hit it, especially power hitters.
The last time DeGrom fell behind 3-1, he grew 1 Wilson who hit it out of sight. Now the 3-1 to Rosario, and he swings and misses at a changeup, and it's 3-2.
Well, DeGrom finally throws that changeup. Yeah, it took the Nationals to get him hot for sure. But hey, that's what a player needs sometimes, right? You need to get hot against bad pitching so you get the confidence back. That was the whole problem with Olsen. He's not a bad player. He lost his confidence for a little while. All right, struck him out, got out of the inning, but not before back-to-back home runs by Riley and Olsen. Again, DeGrom got a little fastball happy in that inning, and when he got behind in a count, tried to throw a slider to Riley. Well, the slider never slid, and Riley crushed it. And then right after that, Olsen was in a hitter's count. That pitch to Olsen was right down the middle. It was 101, but it was right down the middle. Hitters are going to hit it. Basically, that is simple. He missed his location. If you look where Nito set up, it was supposed to be on the outside corner. It was belt high right in the middle of the plate. So, again, you're down by a run. Again, the Mets have begun hits off of Fried. Again, Rosario was a big cause of that, but even with the plays by Riley, they've been hitting him hard. Just got to find grass and not to the Braves, right? That's basically what it is, right? Hit them where they ain't. So both guys, DeGrom, when he's throwing his slider for a strike, is striking guys out. When he misses, he pays. So far, as I said, it's either going to be a 2-1 ball game or a 6-5 ball game. It's looking like the latter right now, so we'll see. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, again, if you look at the month of September, the New York Mets have 3 runs per game more on the road than they do at home. They've been scoring more runs on the road than at home. I don't know how that's possible, but that's just the fact of the matter. So, again, both teams are probably feeling confident offensively right now, knowing that they can hit these pitchers. And let's be honest, I don't think if this is a 6-5 ball game, no matter who wins, that you're going to be very confident in both of your pitchers because they have these games. It's DeGrom hasn't been good for a month. And, Fried has his moments as well, but right now, Fried got the lead. Let's see if he can hold it now. Top of the order for the Mets.
Nimmo leads off. Nimmo struck out on a curveball curveball his first time up and gets first pitch curveball in for a strike, 0-1. And we check in with Steve Kelp. Steve.
So, guys, just how big a game is this? A series is this? Well, it's big enough that for some on the Mets side, the facade has dropped away about it just being one day at a time and taking things as they come. Brandon Nimmo said that before today's game, he felt butterflies and nervousness that he has not felt since before his first opening day. And Eric Chavez has talked to the group about the fact that in this series, and once you get to the playoffs, for those who haven't been there before, the moment seems really big. The key is about finding a way to center yourself. Everybody does it differently, and not to make too much in that moment of what is actually going on.
Which raises an interesting point. You know, the Mets have played so well this year, but they've got a lot of players who have not been to postseason or been in a crucial series like this, where the Braves just, won the World Series last year. And
look, the recipe against Fried, especially as a lefty, is hit it to left field. Not because of Rosario, because Fried doesn't pitch inside a lot. He likes the outside corner. You got to hit it the other way.
Fights off his fists.
Ron, what are the things that you would look for?
Well, that's been the only problem for DeGrom has been home runs, right? Besides the Oakland game, it's been home runs.
People doing things that they had never done all season long, Steve. When you see that, then you know the players are a little tight. It happens. I wish.
RM, no, they got excited, and you can't kill him for that.
Pressure is a privilege. I wish someone had told me that when I was 20 years old.
Ooh, went around the plate with that curveball. That was a nice curveball.
Into that curveball, but interesting if it would have hit him, what Nick Lentz would have said.
We've seen that a couple of times where Nimmo kind of cuts the elbow out, doesn't really move it out of the way.
He doesn't do it on purpose. It's just his reaction to it, trying to stay in there.
Another curveball, and he fouls this.
That's a nice curveball, but Nimmo fouled it off.
So we checked out last time DeGrom gave up back-to-back home runs. Probably not
41 pitches in the third inning with nobody out for Fried in the third. Decent pitch count so far.
2019, so 3.5 years ago. Seventh pitch of the at-bat coming from Fried to Nimmo. And Brandon chops one over the mound.
Oh, I think he fell. Nimmo did fall, so 1 out. He did a trip coming out of the bag. That would have been a closer play than it actually was. 1 out.
Well, the guy who knows about winning World Series and pitching under pressure, that's what Max Scherzer said. Pressure is a privilege. Expected to win, and that's what we're here to do.
Well, darn it, someone told him. They didn't tell me. I really wish I had heard that when I was younger, because it helps to sort it out.
Did they tell him that before or after he won the World Series?
I will say we saw him in front of the hotel today. He had a beautifully crazed look on his face. He was so excited for this game tonight.
Great anticipatory.
All right. Alonso got the first hit of the ball game. Had a good at-bat against Fried. Let's see if he can continue that.
And Pete drives this one out.
And Pete hits it off the end of the bat. Should be 2 outs, and it is. Pete had like a check swing there.
City problems for the remainder of the series. Max Scherzer goes tomorrow night against 20-game winner Kyle Wright. And then Sunday night, Chris Bassett against the newly re-signed Charlie Morton. Yeah, Morton, 38 years old, just signed a contract for next season. 1 year, $20 million with a team option for another year.
Charlie has been saying for 6 years that he wants to go home and be with his family.
Yeah, Jared, that's what I said. He tripped out of the box. It would have been a close play.
Here's Lindor. Well, as long as he can keep throwing his curveball, he's probably going to keep on going.
He's had the inverse kind of relations of his career.
All right, Lindor is up with 2 outs, nobody on. 2-1 Braves, top 3.
As time has gone on.
Well, it became a different pitcher. Lindor into a fielder's choice his first time. He flies this one foul down the right side. That'll go out of play. 1-1. Lindor started the day with a 13-game hitting streak.
I haven't been to Truist Park yet. I want to make my way there at some point. What I've heard from people, Met fans that I know went there, said it's a great ballpark.
274 is a left-hand batter. Infield spread out with 2 out. He takes the fastball up and in, 2-1.
Yeah, Lindor has a good season. Really good season this year. He's playing to the back of his baseball card. You can't really ask more for a player. You know, nobody's living up to that contract. So it's, you know, I think too many people looked at the contract and think he's supposed to hit 40 home runs and knock in 140 RBIs. He's not that player. He's a 270 hitter where he is right now, 25 to 30 home runs where he is right now. And he's actually had more RBIs than he had in his entire career, average-wise, around 93 to 94. So he's had a better RBI season this year as a Met. Nice pitch by Fried. So Fried did what DeGrom couldn't do, keep a lead after the team gave you a lead. So going to the bottom of the third, 2-1 Braves. And yeah, that's the other thing, Ken. That was Lindor been very good defensively as well. Once again, guys, if you're just tuning in, Mets versus Braves. We're going to the bottom of the third. 2-1. Mets taking early second inning lead. With a couple of mistakes by Rosario, giving the Mets the opportunity to score that first run of the ball game. And then right back in the bottom of the second, back-to-back home runs by Riley and Olsen off of DeGrom to give them a 2-1 lead. Going to the bottom of the third. That's where we are right now. So once again, guys, if you're just tuning in, if you're a new subscriber, don't forget to please hit on that like button and say what's up in the chat. I don't care if you're a Brave fan or a Mets fan. Say what's up. Let me know where you're from so we can give you a little shout out here on the channel. Lion, if the Mets can get by the Dodgers in the NLDS, one catch, I don't know. Rewrite that question again, buddy. You keep on talking about the DS. So you're expecting the Mets to lose the division, which again, still not at that point yet. You know, if the Braves actually get past the Dodgers in the NLDS, you still have to win I mean, thank you for letting the Mets win the wild card series. So, but again, it's 2-1 in the bottom of the third. Nobody has ran away with anything yet. And once again, you Braves gotta really have to sweep this series to have control over your own destiny. If you don't sweep this series, you don't have control. The Mets still do because of the tiebreaker. And that was the situation that the Braves put themselves in when they lost to the Nationals the other day. All right, so here we go. Bottom of the third, 2-1 Braves. Bottom of the order for the Braves.
In the bottom of the third. Braves hitters have been very aggressive early in the count.
DeGrom's got to be a little bit more smarter, knowing that the Braves have been very aggressive against DeGrom. And you know what? That's been the way the batters have been going after him the last couple of starts. And it's been working.
4% of the time, which is third in the major leagues.
And that's a base hit. Again, fastball. Not located well by DeGrom.
Single for Arcia, the third hit given up by DeGrom.
And I don't care how great a pitcher is. When you don't feel confident in your pitches, it's very hard to pitch, even if you have the stuff like DeGrom has. Again, his fastball is running from the outside right back over the middle of the plate. Usually when he's on, it's usually he throws that fastball a little outside of the plate, and then it comes back in on the corner. Let's see if DeGrom can get it together here. Well, his fastball is getting hit because he's not throwing his slider. He's not. I don't think he has a feel for it, but he's got to throw it, because if he doesn't throw it, they're just waiting on fastball, and good hitters are going to hit it.
He did it to Contreras. That's the one guy he was able to control that way. That's dribbled in front of the plate. Nito looks at second, but turns it down.
All right, so a little bleeder at home plate, getting the runner at first. Braves got the runner on second with 1 out. I don't know, because I think you're going to lose to the Padres in the NLCS. Excuse me, in the NL wildcard series. Lion, you're not confident. You're very cocky in that comment. Again, you've been on this channel for a while. Braves still haven't passed the Mets for more than 24 hours. So
That's amazing.
take it easy. It's 2-1 in the bottom of the third.
That, the
And look,
Riley
when he
was
throws that slider, they're flailing at it. They're not staying off of it.
Swanson struck out his
They're
first
swinging at that slider. I think he has to go to that slider a little bit more.
Garcia second with one out. Late swing on a
That wasn't a good
by
fastball, but he
Swanson.
swung over it.
Listen, it's not that easy. I've certainly pitched in games where I didn't recognize what the other team was doing, but they are trying to.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Ken. I don't know why he ran away from it.
Of the plate.
He did it in the first. He threw a decent amount of sliders in the first inning. He stopped and started getting happy with his fastball. I don't get it.
Changeup sells upstairs. 1-1.
For Riley Homer, just a slider.
Look at that pitch that Riley hit right down the middle. That was a slider that didn't break at all. Same. It looks like the same exact area that Olsen and Riley hit the home runs.
But that launch angle of Olsen, once it hits it on the sweet spot, it will always be gone.
Well, Jack, I think the Braves and the Mets have to worry about each other before they worry about the Marlins and the Nationals. Oh, there's a nice slider right there. Again, they can't hit the slider. He throws it where he needs to. They're swinging at the slider. I think he has to go to that a little bit more until they stop swinging at it.
Dominant as DeGrom has been for such an enormous period of time, and now all of a sudden you find yourself mortal.
It's sobering because he's one of the few pitchers in the game, maybe Strider right now when he's pitching. He's on the IL right now.
1-2 to Swanson. And just got a piece of
That's a good fastball inside. That's where DeGrom was trying to throw that ball right there. Against Riley in that first at-bat, try to throw in that fastball inside, tie him up, but didn't get it there. That pitch against Swanson did a good job at fouling that ball off.
And that's kind of figure out how to attack these hitters.
Jonathan, what's up, buddy?
Change speed.
Yo, your Phillies are blowing it, buddy.
Get some easier routes, too, because they're driving the pitch count up.
It was Chris Bassett who labeled him an alien earlier this year, but I guess at the moment he has at least temporarily shed his alien status.
Guys, let's focus on today's game.
Mother Earth, with the rest of us terrestrials. Ahead on Swanson 1-2 with Harris on deck. And Swanson holds the swing.
Looks like he held that slider there.
That's the pitch that they were not able to lay off at all in that start at Citi Field.
That was a good take by Swanson there. That was a good slider right there that they took.
The pressure. It was under 2 before his last start.
Oh, you did win today? I didn't even see that. Okay. Well, at least you hold, what is it, a half-game lead if the Brewers lose? Goodbye. Nice slider on the corner. Strike 3, 2 outs. Again, if DeGrom throws that slider right there, you can't hit that. Bravos, I don't know. He was supposed to come back for this Brave series, but his finger wasn't there yet. So another reason why the Mets need to win this division, because of the fact that Marte might not be ready for a wild card series. That was a nasty slider right there.
I was trying to find a word there.
All right, Harris is up. 2 outs, man on second, bottom 3.
Who struck out his first time up. And Harris hits one back toward
Ground ball.
Playing behind the bag, has to back up to play the hop. Doesn't have a play at first, but now he's got the runner hung up between third and home. Nito running him back.
Got him out. Bad base running by the Braves. Get out of the inning. Good play by Francisco Lindor. They were playing him up the middle with the speed of Harris. Couldn't get him at first, but Arcia with the bad base run. There's 3 mistakes now by the Braves. 1 on the base path and 2 on the field by Rosario. Giving the Mets an opportunity here to, take advantage of those mistakes. So 3 outs. Braves didn't score. That was bad base running. You could have first and third with Riley coming up. That was not a good scenario. Not good base running by Arcia right there. So, John, what's up from Ontario? Canada in the house. like I said, next year, if Harris hit that ball, that'd be a base up the middle, probably be a run scored. But unfortunately, the shift is still there. But JL, I think we talked about this, right? There's been a lot of base running blunders by the Braves this season, and they did it against the Mets a couple of times at Citi Field as well. Even in the series against the Braves the last time in Atlanta, they've made a couple of base running errors as well, and then that's exactly what they did here again. I don't know what the hell he was doing. If he would have stayed on third, he would have had 2 men on with Riley, who hit a home run off DeGrom the last inning. So bad base running, and now you got Riley in a situation where you want him up. You want him up with nobody on base, right? So we can't kill you with that. So with that said, DeGrom gets out of that inning. A couple of balls were hit hard off of him, but he got out of the inning. He has how many pitches? 43 pitches through 3 innings. Not terrible pitch count. He's around the same where Fried is right now. So they're in the same pitch count area right now through 3 innings. The Braves got to play better defense. And it is kind of weird because the Braves have a really good defense. And the base running, they've done that all year. That they've ran themselves out of games. They did it against the Phillies. They did it against the Nationals. South Carolina. I'm assuming you got a lot of rain right now. Yeah, exactly, JL. All right, so Mark Canha leading off. 2-1 Braves, top of the 4th. And that's a ball.
Yeah, they didn't do a fielder's choice his first time up. What a headsy play by Francisco Lindor.
Doesn't get any better than that. That was a PhD play, and it's explaining it to Mark Vientos.
Okay, John, cool.
Special was that's pulled down to third.
Canha, another backhand play by Riley. What a play by Riley. If it wasn't for Riley, the Mets might be up by 2 runs right now.
Third before he ever did.
Well, it was really a beautiful veteran play. The ball took a tough hop off the mound. And then made
I don't know what Arcia was doing. You know what? That's a bad play by Washington, the third base coach, because he never told the runner to stay on the bag. That's a bad. That's actually the coach's issue, because the runner shouldn't be looking at the ball. So Ron Washington should have held him there, or whoever's the third base coach for the Braves. That's a bad base coaching error too, because the player has to rely on his coach there. 1 out, McNeil up.
Because when the ball's first hit, he's got to think, I've gotten out at first. And then when he has to back up for that extra hop, all of a sudden the wheels are spinning, and he makes the decision to throw to third.
It's just an under control play made by a veteran shortstop.
McNeil scopes one out to
McNeil
left.
hits one to left
Rosario handles it clean.
and makes the catch.
One of the lights this time.
2 outs.
I mean, it's a lot of confidence after the first 2.
I think he was showing his disdain for his own.
You know, he's good teaching the guys with his infield drills and everything like that, but that was a bad job. He had to hold up Arcia there. Arcia has his back to the play. You got to let him know what's going on. Smithtown, Long Island, and Wilmington, North Carolina. All right.
Just continuing to rake 4 hits in his last 4
All right, Escobar up with 2 outs, nobody on the top of the 4th.
First pitch, slider foul tipped, 0-1.
Kenny, he doesn't, man.
Francisco Alvarez, who saw only 1 pitch in his first at bat, grounded into a double play, waiting for his second big league plate appearance.
Oof.
Good curveball by Fried. Has
reaching for that curveball.
It's 0-2.
Santa Monica, California, went to Harvard Westlake in Bel Air. High school teammate of Lucas.
Yeah, that's why I'm surprised Bravos by that.
Jack Flair.
Nice pitch. Fried gets a 1-2-3 inning in the top of the 4th. 2-1 Braves going to the bottom of the 4th. Well, what's very interesting in what Fried is doing, which he hasn't done a lot with against the Mets. He's throwing a lot of breaking balls and off-speed pitches, not throwing a lot of fastballs, which I think is a smart idea considering that the Mets haven't been good this year against lefties, and on top of that, when you throw off-speed pitches and you're a lefty, you can make a little bit more mistakes with your off-speed pitches because it's just coming from a different angle. Jonathan, it's because Harper's back. How is the Phillies playing better without Harper, and then Harper comes back and then you struggle? Oh, Hanover, that's pretty cool, actually. So once again, guys, we're going to the bottom of the fourth. If you're just tuning in, back-to-back home runs by Riley and Olsen in the bottom of the second, right after the Mets took a 1-0 lead to give the Braves a 2-1 lead, and that's where the score is going to the bottom of the fourth. So, I mean, DeGrom not really looking like DeGrom and still only gave up 2 runs in the first 3 innings. Fried, the fourth inning was his best inning so far. So, and in that inning, he barely threw any fastballs. So, yeah, but Jonathan, the bigger problem is Harper. I'm telling you. Harper is a freaking cancer. I'm telling you. That guy is. It's no coincidence that the Nationals won the World Series the year after he left. And I'm telling you, the Phillies had their best stretch this year when Harper was hurt. Something tells you that there's something with Harper that I don't know what it is, but I just think it's Harper, buddy. JL, that's true, but again, he gets caught up in that fastball, and he does it against the Mets a lot. All right, so here we go. Bottom of the fourth, 2-1 Braves. Riley leading off.
Home run of the year to tie the game in the second, followed quickly by Matt Olson's 31st of the year. That put the Braves in front. The last 2 starts now against Oakland and tonight, these have been the hits that DeGrom has allowed.
So it doesn't matter how good your stuff is. He's always had the pinpoint control because he's been in the middle of the plate.
0-2 on Riley here. This is where you got to make him fish. You got to throw that slider and don't hang it.
All right, so what's that all
Strike.
about?
Ooh, wow, that's a bad call by the umpire, but he struck out Riley there. That was a bad call by the ump, but helps out the Mets there, 1 out. Struck out Riley on 3 pitches. Well, he went with all fastballs against Riley there.
Well, he is a kind of a victim of his own mechanics, Gary. That when his mechanics are right, he has done it.
Jonathan, do you want our catchers? I'll take Real Muto offense any day. All right, Matt Olson, 1 out, bottom of the fourth. One for one with a solo home run today.
Connection goes out of whack, and you lose that point where you can throw the same pitch every single time. Then it's when you have to say, okay, I have to go to secondary pitches. Might have to throw some change-ups until that comes back, because it will.
Just mixed in a curveball to Matt Olson. Well, they're throwing that curveball a lot in the last start in Oakland, mostly out of desperation.
Umpire is a little inconsistent now with Fried and DeGrom right now. He threw a fastball in that same zone to Riley, he struck him out, called him on strikes, and that same slider in the same area, he called the ball. So,
Olson all of a sudden a hot hitter.
John, hopefully you didn't get
3 or 4 weeks.
destroyed by that hurricane in Florida.
He could just not
But thank you for tuning in. Jake has great stuff. Yeah, his command is a little off. He's missing his fastball a little bit. He hung that one breaking ball to Riley, and the fastball he threw down the middle. 2 bad pitches. His location's a little off. That's the issue with him right now. The stuff is there, just not the location.
A lot of shakeoffs. Tells me he wants to maybe go to the change away.
That was a 95 miles an hour changeup. Jesus.
That one too hard. 95 miles an hour. Pretty hard for a changeup from DeGrom.
Eric, I saw you on that Braves channel yesterday talking to the Braves.
Shift on against Olson.
That was a backdoor slider that Olsen fouled off. That wasn't a good pitch. You saw DeGrom not happy with that pitch. The shift is on all the way to the right. Escobar's the only one on the left side of second base against Olsen.
So much good young talent side the long-term deals here in Atlanta. It's easy to see them be.
Yeah, I think you play him too much. I think that's the issue.
Competitive for years to come.
And strikes him out on the backdoor slider, 2 outs. So the 2 home runs he gave up to Riley and Olsen came back against them, struck out both of them. That was a better pitch. He do the same exact pitch that Olsen just fouled off, that backdoor slider, and struck him out. 2 outs. Yep, Jonathan. He hit a shot down right to third base, and Riley made a great play for a double play. I think it was like 106 miles an hour off the bat. That was a shot. What first pitch he seen, he swings. All right, 2 outs. Darno up. 2-1 Braves. 4th inning.
Jacob deGrom had no slider command in that start against Oakland.
Popped it up. It might stay in. Might be too far from McNeil. And it stays. Gets out of play. Strike 1.
DeGrom, the slider and throwing it over the plate for
Ken, you want to take care of that issue in the comments?
Critical in order to having that fastball continue to play up.
Yeah, but it was a good pitch to hit. I mean, Riley made a great play.
What was that?
I think if it's an average third baseman, he probably misses it. No, it looked like it was going to rain, but not yet. It's going to rain, I think, the next couple of days.
Trying to get in this entire inning. Gary clearly didn't want to throw it today. Alon took command.
Nice slider. That was the best slider DeGrom threw to Darno, 0-2. A little bit better command for DeGrom in this inning.
Knew that you were on deck and wanted to get it to you, Steve. So thank you for the report.
We like that so much up here. We just exchanged a high fist bump, which I believe is our first ever high fist bump.
Another slider that Darno fouled off, and it hit Nito.
Oh, that's so juvenile.
That's not the boot camp moment on social media.
That's where we've got to our life. An exciting thing is a throw down to Gelbs.
It's gotta
Okay.
be the boot camp on social
Yeah, then it's probably coming. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so not surprised. All right, 0-2 count still to turn Darno. 56 pitches with 2 outs in the 4th for DeGrom. Pitch count is pretty decent.
We changed the entire equation here.
Strike 3 called on a fastball in the outside corner. If he's going to give him that pitch, he's got to keep on throwing it there. 3 strikeouts in the inning. Better locations for his pitches for DeGrom. Going to the top of the 5th, 2-1 Braves. So Fried and DeGrom both had their best inning of the game so far. Location-wise, for sure. So we're going to the top of the 5th, middle of the game, 2-1. It doesn't seem like a pitcher's duel because it looks like the pitchers, for the most part, haven't been on their game except for the 4th inning. But it's a pitcher's duel right now at the moment. So let's go. The offense got to get going. Got to get it going, guys. Got to get it going. All right. So for the Mets, it's 7, 8, 9. Alvarez, Guillorme, and Nito. See if the Mets can get something started here. Sorry, guys. Freaking game day is just acting so stupid right now. Sorry about that. Trying to fix game day. For some reason, it's jumping off the page. It's weird. Freaking knocked me off the freaking live stream for a second. Like, what the hell are you doing? Game's too important to knock me off. So Alvarez, first at bat, first pitch swinging, hits a rocket to third base. Great play by Riley to get the double play with first and second and nobody out. Oh, well, we'll see. All right. Again, look, you see what the Braves are doing. They're striking out, but if you keep the Braves in the ballpark, you got a pretty good chance of winning the ball game. That's the Braves the entire year, no matter if they play great teams or bad teams. It's what they do. They hit home runs, they win. It's very simple. All right, so Alvarez coming up. Fried still pitching for the Braves, top of the 5th. See if Alvarez can show his power as he's shown in every level of the minors. That's it. Hey, not a New Yorker if I don't say that, right? Yeah, Todd, it could have been. If Riley don't make that play, that's at least 1 run with nobody out. And it could have been a different story. But he made the play. Got to give him credit. All right. See if Alvarez swings at the first pitch again.
At least for tonight.
Oh.
Let's talk about a Guillorme in the air, Gary. I mean, off the bat.
Guillermo caught the flying bat again.
Specialist, so it's no problem. Left-handed.
Guillermo catches it.
Guillermo takes a look at it and
Switches the carom, catches it right in the middle.
All right, so Alvarez saw 2 pitches and swung at both of them. He's up the hack. Hey, listen, he ain't Vogelback that's trying to walk. I'll give him that.
1,000 times.
Show it again.
Good pitch. Good pitch. That's an unhittable pitch right there. 0-2.
For Fried, and it's 0-2. Alvarez, the 7th Met to make his big league debut this year. Change
All right, so
that's 1-2.
I want to see his eye at the plate. I'm very curious about that.
He has a little different approach with 2.
All right, so he fouled off a tough pitch. Nice to see that.
Number 1 prospect in baseball, and now he's here. At age 20, he'll turn 21 in November.
All right, John, that's good.
So wanted to be
Yeah, game day is slow tonight. I don't know what's wrong with game day tonight. It's acting stupid, to be honest with you. It already knocked me off my stream for a second. Ooh, good eye. Just inside. Well, he's looking like he has a good eye at the plate, which is nice to see.
Just off the corner.
Two to Alvarez.
Ball 3, all right. Got down 0-2. Got to a full count. Good eye by Alvarez. You can see he's not anxious at the plate. Nice and confident. His mom is screaming right now in the stands.
3-2 coming. And he punches one down to first.
All right, got jammed. That was a nice pitch by Fried right there. Oh.
Alvarez running hard. Almost beat Fried to the bag.
Oh, he almost beat Fried to the bag right there. That was close. A little lackadaisical by Olsen there. Well, Alvarez can run too.
See Fried break it down. I guess they assume because he's a catcher he can't.
That was close.
You know what he is also?
He beat him by a step.
And wants his first big league.
Oh, that was almost another mistake by the Braves right there. But got the out. 1 out.
Don't like that.
Yeah, they'll all give him a pat on the butt for that.
So 1 out and nobody on.
All right, Luis Guillermo. 1 out.
With a single that went off the glove of a slide.
Yeah, pretty fast for a catcher. I mean, he ain't, a speedster, but he got a little bit of giddy up. I mean, he's 20. He better be fast. Or at least somewhat. I like the hustle, though.
Second, the Braves took the lead, and Max Fried has kept them there.
Exactly, John. Yeah, he's calling that pitch. Good pitch. So he's giving that high outside corner to DeGrom against righties and giving that low inside corner pitch to lefties to Fried. It's been consistent with that.
Change up, that was a rolled over foul. Well, the Braves fell 10.5 games behind the Mets. Since June 1st, they have that incredible 74-32 record. The Mets haven't played badly themselves. They have the 3rd most wins in the big leagues, in the National League since June 1st, but Braves were just...
JT is still fast.
So a 10-game lead became a deficit on one day last week, where the Mets reasserted themselves back up by 2.5. They were even going into
66 pitches for Fried, but 1 out in the 5th. Pitch count is still pretty decent.
Mets not only
a little bit more than a pitch an inning, 10 pitches an inning, which is not bad.
The season series, which is key if the teams were to finish tied.
Ground ball, that's a good pitch. 2 outs.
And it's a ground ball out for the second out.
Throwing all breaking balls.
Jerry, this year with teams over 500, the Braves are 37-37. Tells you they've done a better job playing those teams that are at the bottom of the divisions. Bad records.
Right, Mets have struggled against some of those lesser teams, especially over the last month when the schedule was in their favor and they really did not take full advantage of it. What's interesting is because there no longer is a game 163.
Well, Fried changed up his game. The first 2 innings, throwing a lot of fastballs. Now throwing all breaking balls. Hey, if the Mets are swinging at it, keep throwing it, right?
The Mets' magic number for clinching the division starting tonight is 6. And if they win tonight, it will be reduced to 3.
God, I gotta break it balls. That's the fun part.
Win the season series at 10.
The win, the Braves loss, and the clinching of the season series reduced that magic number to 3. Change up outside.
Again, no fastballs really thrown by Fried. He changed his game plan from the first 2 innings. Big difference.
The only way the Braves can take control of the division going into the last 3 days is if they sweep this series.
Again,
Another change up, and
it's looking like the Mets are looking for fastballs there, and they're swinging over them changeups and them curveballs.
Even if the Mets lose 2 out of 3 here, they would still have it in their control if they were able to win out against Washington. One-two coming. Grounded slowly to third, charging Riley.
Should be a nice play by Riley. So smooth, Riley. All right. Another good inning for Max Fried. Max Fried throwing all breaking balls and off-speed pitches. Again, if the Mets are swinging at it, you might as well throw it. The problem with not swinging at it is that he's throwing them for strikes, which is the other issue. That's why he's so good. I said this before the game started. He gets his breaking ball and off-speed pitches for strikes. It's going to be very, very hard to hit because he's that nasty. Christopher, I agree. Starlin Marte is missed in the lineup, but it's no excuse for this lineup. It's not. You know, when you still got Nimmo, you still got Lindor, you still got Alonso, you still got Canna, you still got guys in this lineup. McNeil, you still got guys in the lineup that should be doing the job. Very simple. And, you know, again, would Marte be welcoming in this lineup? Of course. But that doesn't mean the Mets would just not still have one run. You know what I'm saying? Again, we all know Marte is a big piece of this lineup, but he's not here. It's not an excuse. It's just what base. Look, you get dealt the cards, you play with the cards dealt. That's how you got to play, right? You know, you can't cry over spilled milk because Marte is not playing. And, you know, it sucks, but it is what it is. You know, it's not like the Braves are not missing Albies, right? Albies is a big piece of the Braves lineup. Even though the Braves have a much longer lineup than the Mets, Albies would be a lot more. It would be a lot more potent with Albies in the lineup, but they don't have them. But you know what? They got guys to pick up the slack that Albies brings to the table. Right now, the Mets got to pick it up. It's very simple. They've been better offensively on the road than at home in the month of September. Get it done. It's very simple. So we're going to the bottom of the 5th, 2-1 Braves. I mean, it's technically at this point a pitcher's duel. It doesn't feel like that, but it is. 2-1, bottom of the 5th. See if DeGrom can hold them to 2 runs and see if the Mets offense can actually come alive. The Mets will have the top of the order coming up in the top of the 6th once they get there.
Let's get to the World Series.
So, all right, here we go.
Incredible
First pitch coming up in the 5th.
Last year, and then his spectacular return this year after missing 13 months. He's had a couple of roadblocks over these last couple of starts now, and trying to get himself reestablished. As William Contreras.
All right, that slider is looking a little bit better since the 4th inning there, so that's a nice way to see the ground with that slider. He gets that going, it's going to be hard to hit.
Rosario, and Arcia in the home 5th.
Same thing, 2 big sliders in a row.
DeGrom struck out the side of the 4th inning and looked more like himself than he has at any time in his last 2 or 3
Well, he's got to keep it up. 3 sliders in a row.
That time he's able to lay off.
All right, he laid off that slider. So 3 good sliders in a row there.
That inning prior. It's almost like I'm not going to take this anymore. It stops right now.
Is he going to go back to a 4th slider?
No pitch calm for Nito and DeGrom using the not digitally giving the signs. Digits are giving the signs.
Real digits.
All right, went back to the fourth slider, but Arcia held up. I'm sorry, Contreras held up. Excuse me. Five sliders in a row, and he's held up. Good sliders, but Contreras is holding up
I
there.
mean, those were such excellent pitches. But the Braves have laid off some of those excellent sliders tonight.
Now the 3-2 coming.
Comes with the fastball. Nice pitch, but he fouled it off.
Straight sliders.
I think he should have went to that fastball a little earlier in the count, but
We got to defeat it, baby. Eddie Rosario waits on deck.
will he go with the slider again? Try to fool him, or go with the fastball? Possible changeup. Going inside, looks like a fastball. Strikes him out. Nice pitch.
Up and in fastball from DeGrom.
That's an unhittable up and in fastball. 1 out. 4 strikeouts in a row for DeGrom. Looking a little bit better there.
I love seeing this adjustment by DeGrom. Is that the Braves hitters are so accomplished and so good that he's gone off his game plan and comes inside 3-2 with a fastball. How many have we seen of those in the last 3 seasons? And
That was the best fastball he threw in the game so far.
Rosario, who struck out his first time up. And the half swing. Did he go? He did not on a high fastball. Ted Barrett with the call.
You know what? You can tell in Atlanta, and you know it would be the same at Citi Field. It's a quiet, tense nervousness from the crowd, which I get. You know, not a lot of offense. Close game. Speed was 99 on that one. Ooh, there's another good slider. Well, he's hitting that same spot with the slider, with the lefties and the righties.
they still only get about 18 outs per start. So the relief before the closer is going to play a big part for both teams.
Slider pulled it, but foul.
Well, DeGrom here ahead in the count 1-2. The set of plate appearances went ahead of the count after 3 pitches.
I mean, remarkable to be over 60%. That's why they've had such a great year.
They averaged 57%.
All right, 1-2 count to Rosario, 1 out in the 5th.
When I was a young player, I was told first pitch strikes. That didn't work. Get the first
Ethan, I agree.
now,
Got to get a clean in here.
either.
Ooh, nice pitch, but on the outside. Right off the outside corner.
Because if it's first pitch strike and you don't throw a strike, it's defeating. But it's not when you're trying to win the race to 3. It gives you a couple more opportunities.
I like give up fewer runs than the other team.
Yeah, I would like that one too. I didn't get that.
Nice slider. 5 straight strikeouts for DeGrom. Well, he got that slider working in the same area.
100th strikeout of the year. 100 strikeouts in 63 innings. 100 strikeouts.
Yeah, Joe, I work.
Never seen it before.
I'm saving my sick time and vacation for the playoffs.
First strikeout with the changeup.
So DeGrom's slider is right where he wants it right now, and locating this fastball better. RC are up with 2 outs. 68 pitches for DeGrom in the 5th.
And that was thrown out in a rundown between third.
Got to be careful with RCA. Got sneaky power. Fastball inside corner. All right, he's located now.
They're so surprised inside that they're jumping back from pitches that are strikes.
DeGrom usually don't pitch inside. He's doing it now.
Right now.
There you go.
Responds with the slider away.
They're not looking inside at all, so that slider's going to be even more potent.
Olsen backdoor slider. Darnell
Truth,
fastball
wisdom,
away.
no problem.
Fastball in. Rosario changeup down.
Hopefully he gets better in Lubbock, Texas.
0-2 coming to Arcia. And he lays off that slider. 1-2.
Anytime. Hopefully your husband gets better and out of the hospital watching Mets at home. Come on, Jake. 1-2 count to Arcia. Can he strike out 6 in a row?
1-2 coming.
Oh, Oh, that was not a good pitch, but he popped them up.
Infield, Lindor waits for it.
3 outs.
And that retires the side.
All right. 2 good innings back-to-back for Fried. 2 good innings back-to-back for DeGrom. So, technically, I guess you can call this a pitcher's duel, right? We're going to the top of the 6th. Mets got the top of the order coming up. Let's see if they can do what they need to do. They got to come back. Very simple. Joe, we've been saying that. Look, Gary Cohen just said it. The only way the Braves have control, have the division in their own hands is if they sweep. The Mets win 1 game, they still go into the last 3 games of the season having the division in their hands. All they got to do is win. They got to match the Braves. That's it. Because the tie goes to the Mets. Yeah, that wasn't a good pitch by DeGrom. That was a hanging slider. But you know what? RC was so worried about the fastball inside. He was a little ahead of it because of those fastballs inside. And that's the difference right there. You see, with the whole Riley home run and Olsen home run, it's not that he threw a bad pitch. He did. But when you get behind in a count, you got to come with a fast. And that was before his slider was working. So they weren't looking for a slider because he wasn't throwing it for strikes. So what are you looking for? You're looking for middle in. Both of those balls were middle in. They crushed it. Well, Jonathan, that's the biggest problem with the Mets lately. They've been hitting a lot more home runs in September than getting 4 or 5 hits in a row, bunching hits together, which they've been doing all year. The month of September, they've been hitting a lot more home runs. The Mets are not a home run hitting team. They've got a little bit home run happy, and that's been hurting them. And that's the issue with this Mets team in the month of September for sure. So, unfortunately, for the Mets, they got to get back to the way they win ball games. And that, like you just said it, Jonathan, they got to play, base to base. They got productive outs. Basically, what they did in the second inning, all right, they got helped with errors, or they technically not errors, but bad plays by Rosario. But that's how they win ball games. They make you pay for mistakes, and that's what they have to do. I agree, Jonathan. So here we go. And a big deal is Nimmo, Ken. That's the biggest thing. Nimmo's been taking pitches, but he's also been trying to swing for the fences, and he's the spark plug. He's got to get on base. He gets on base, things can happen. All right. Top of the 6th.
Duration and height. A major turn of events in this game.
All right. Max Fried is coming out of the game. I don't know what happened, but he's coming out of the game. So I don't know what happened. So Max Fried's out of the game. The righty, Colin McHugh, is in the game for the Braves. I don't know what happened. I don't know if somebody's watching the Braves broadcast, but Fried is out of the game. That is not a good sign. Maybe he just got a stomach bug, but that's not a good sign if you're the Braves going into the playoffs. He threw up. All right, so a little bug. All right. Then, hey. So let's see if the Mets can take advantage of it. Now they got to go use their bullpen for the next 5 innings. Next couple of innings. We'll see if the Mets can take care of business. So we threw up on the mound. Okay. All right. So they're giving Colin McHugh. So technically it's an injury removal for Fried. So McHugh gets as much time needed to warm up, and Nimmo's coming to the plate now. So if you're just tuning in, Max Fried is coming out of the ball game. Apparently he threw up on the mound, or he threw up. I guess he was not feeling well. I don't know exactly. That's what somebody just said. As long as it's not an arm injury for them, he should be okay if it's only just a stomach bug. So here we go. Nimmo up, 2-1 Braves in the top of the 6th.
So now they're going to have another doubleheader scheduled for tomorrow.
It's supposed to rain.
Right. Colin McHugh facing Brandon Nimmo. So the Mets have to make the
Well, the
adjustment.
problem here is that the Mets set up their lineup
Yeah, what you're
for
gonna see
lefty.
McHugh is the same. Cutters,
For a lefty pitcher. They got a lot of righties in the lineup up in the order. So let's see if they can. I don't think they're going to stop pinch hitting. You just got to go with the flow there and make it happen.
This is down to them with a slider, and it's 1-1. So
SR, I don't know. Apparently he was
no walks, 3 strikeouts, 71
I think he was sick and he threw up. I don't know. I don't know. But as long as it's not a physical injury, he should be okay.
should be good to go for a couple more. Nimmo takes up and away, and it's 2-1. Certainly the Braves felt coming into this series that they had an advantage overall in their bullpen, even if the Mets had the advantage in terms of the closers.
Well, Elliot, it matters because of the fact that I don't like to see injuries for any team. It sucks. You want to go with your best out there against another opponent. Yeah, it might help the Mets, but I don't like to see that, to be honest. Braves bullpen is not a weakness. Again, they have their moments where they give up big hits, but they've had one of the best bullpens in the month of September. I think somebody just said that. I think it was a little under a 2 ERA, right? I think that's what it was. They've been good, but they got to do it for the next couple of innings now.
He has been pitching a little better lately. There was a time when it looked like he was going to lose that closer's job. That's grounded toward the middle of the diamond, and RC with a nice sliding stop and no way.
All right, so infield hit by Nimmo. That's a good start. That was a nice play by RC just to even get to that ball. But once again, the damn shift. If you're playing straight up, he was playing straight up. Okay, so they weren't even playing a full shift. All right, so that's a leadoff infield single for the Mets. Yeah, but Jonathan, Minter is a shutdown guy, but when he came in against the Cardinals, he gave Blue 2 games for them. All right, so Pete Alonso coming up with a man on. It's an opportunity here for the Mets here.
Base hit to center field in the first, fly out to center in the third, 1 for 2. Pete hits one right to the second base bag, and RC has the easiest double play.
Well, the shift helped them there. That's a base hit up the middle, but because of the shift, helped them in that aspect. Double play. He hit it hard. Well, maybe next year that's a base hit, right?
It's
a good pitch to hit. What are you going to do? That ball goes up the middle. That's first and third with nobody out. Lindor is up 2 outs. 2 hard hit balls against McHugh, but double play.
Has a home run in his career against Colin McHugh, 3 for 11. And he takes that cutter outside for ball 1.
McHugh was in the American League with Houston for many years.
After starting his career with the Mets 10 years ago as a starting pitcher. Throw a cutter then. Fastballs and curveballs, and he's
Bravos, and yet they still make him the closer, which I still don't get. I mean, he's made to be a closer, and you keep on putting Jansen out there. Yeah, well, you can't really do anything about that when you play the shift up the middle. You hit the ball up the middle for 100 years. That's a base hit. What are you going to do? He hit it hard. It's just right at somebody up the middle.
Torques that one outside. It's 2-1.
So 2 outs, top of the 6th, 2-1 Braves.
Yeah, go out and give them 2, maybe even 3 innings in relief if necessary. Trying to get into the later innings to Minters and the Jansons.
Ball 3. Good at bat so far by Lindor.
This will be a dangerous pitch for McHugh. And Lindor hits one on the ground.
All right. And that ends the inning. 3 hard hit balls on the ground. 1. None of them got through the infield, but they got 1 infield hit and a double play that Alonso hit up the middle, but didn't get it done. Going to the bottom of the 6th, 2-1 Braves. Well, again, guys, you can't do nothing when the fielder is playing up the middle and you hit a hard ground ball that 100 years of baseball, it's a base hit. The Mets would have first and third. Listen, the Mets got those defensive plays a lot too. It is what it is. Look, Alonso didn't swing at a bad pitch. He swung at a ball right down the middle. He hit it hard. He hit it right at somebody. What are you going to do? Look, Nimmo's ball wasn't hit hard, but they weren't playing in the proper, they were playing a little bit to the right. That gave Nimmo the homer. If they're playing straight up, it's an out, quick out, and it wasn't. So the shift gives it and takes it away. That's what you have to deal with in this day and age of baseball until next year. Great game thus far. Everybody thought it might have been looking like the first couple of innings might have been a high-scoring game, but Fried's out now, but both Fried and DeGrom, the last couple of innings, got back on track and kept the game exactly where it was after the second inning. So, no, this is like a playoff game the way both teams are playing. The Mets didn't necessarily, besides the one run, didn't make benefit from the mistakes the Braves made. One on the base path, two with Rosario. It could have been a bigger inning. If it wasn't for the defensive plays of Riley in the first couple of innings, the Mets could have had a lead. But Riley, 3 good plays so far at third base. Smooth as can be, made some big plays. All right, top of the order for the Braves. 2-1, going to the bottom of the 6th. DeGrom still in the game with 72 pitches.
Acuna has been up twice, grounded out both times. Acuna, Swanson, and Harris against DeGrom, who's retired 6 in a row, striking out 5 of the 6.
Sorry about game day being a little slow, but it's been like that all day. I don't know why.
Working spotless top of the 6th. Acuna flies one foul down the left side. 1-1. You mentioned the Phillies score earlier. Phillies winning that day game, getting rained out at night. But gives the Phillies a 1-game lead over the Brewers for that last National League wild card. The Brewers are starting a series against the Marlins.
Raisel Iglesias is warming up in the bullpen.
That's not easy. They got Corbin Burns going.
Nice slider by Acuna.
Down to the count 1-2. As the wild card race with the Phillies win earlier today. So you got last year's Cy Young Award winner Burns going up against maybe this year's Cy Young Award winner Alcantara. If the games are still meaningful on Wednesday, swinging a miss.
3, Acuna strikes out again. 10 strikeout
5th time this year, Jake has struck out
of the
10
game.
more. 58 in
Well,
his career. Now just
the Braves
Tom Seaver for the
live up to what they do. They strike out a lot and they hit home runs, and that's exactly what they've done in this game. It's been home runs or strikeouts for the Braves so far.
You see displayed graphically. I was going to say, if the division race comes down to Wednesday, the Braves close out.
No, Ralph. If the Braves sweep, they don't have a tiebreaker. The Braves will win the season series.
Last game of the season, Wednesday against Atlanta.
That's gone. Goodbye, home run, 3-1 Braves. That wasn't a bad pitch. That was Swanson came and got that. 3-1 Braves. That was a good piece of hitting by Swanson right there. Again, the Braves still live up to what they do. 10 strikeouts, 3 home runs. Keep them in the ballpark, you beat them. You don't, you lose. Let's see where. Oh, no, that wasn't a good pitch. That was a little bit high inside, but he turned on it.
Swanson, and Swanson gets him again. Might have been a changeup he threw.
I wouldn't say DeGrom is shit. 10 strikeouts, 3 home runs. Three 3-1 Braves, bottom of the 6th.
That's how they do business. Riley, Olsen, and now Swanson make it 3-1 Atlanta. As Harris fouls off the fastball.
Yeah, Line, that's all it is. Home runs or strikeouts. Again,
Well, the 6th inning is
you keep them in the ballpark, you beat the Braves.
Swanson hit that home
They don't.
run against them in
DeGrom's not keeping them in the ballpark,
after he was perfect for
even with the 10
5
strikeouts.
2/3. Harris flies one out to left. This should be playable for Cannon. Make a little leap at the edge of the warning track to grab it. 2 out.
He never was comfortable underneath that baseball.
Well, there's been a lot of firsts, right? First time he gave up back-to-back home runs since June of 19. First time he's allowed 3 home runs in a game since April of 19. Which is allowed in any game in his career is 4. That came back in 2017 against the Cardinals. Here's Riley, who had first one tonight. His 38.
All right, 2 outs, 3-1 Braves, bottom of the 6th.
He takes the first pitch, slider out of the strike zone for ball 1. The Braves have confirmed that Max Fried left the game tonight after, quote, feeling ill.
Okay, so no physical harm to Fried. It's only feeling ill.
He did in the dugout. Felt ill.
2-0 the
2-1 the count.
all right, 2-1 the Riley.
This was Riley back in the second.
Dylan, I can't force people to hit the like button. You know what I mean?
Middle, and a line drive over the center field. Wall off over Nemo's head.
Ball 3.
Upstairs and it's 3-1. Jake has not walked about it tonight. He struck out 10.
Well, Paris, quality start.
Hits, but 3 of them have left the yard.
Again, the problem is quality start is 3 bad pitches that went over the wall. 10 strikeouts is nice, but again, you can't give up home runs to the Braves.
That's on the corner.
Again, the Braves win hitting home runs. You keep them in the ballpark, you can beat them.
They've laid off a lot more pitches than they have in the past tonight.
All right, Ralph, have a good day.
Much more disciplined performance by the Braves. Three-two coming.
And strikes out Riley again to end the inning, but not before Swanson gives the Braves a 3-1 lead going to the top of the 7th. Well, we'll see. You know, the Mets surprise. This is what the Mets are weird, especially this year. They won't hit a bad pitcher or a bad bullpen arm, but a good pitcher comes in and they'll put better at-bats together. How that happens, I don't know. Iglesias, I think, is your best reliever in the bullpen. I think he is better than Minter. Again, I still don't know why he's not your closer, but that's for another day, I guess. But again, look, exactly what I've been saying yesterday for the series preview and before the game. The Braves are 2 things: strikeouts and home runs. You keep them in the ballpark, you have a really good chance of beating them. If you don't, pretty good chance you're going to lose. And it's basically exactly what's going on. They didn't get multiple hits together. They're not a team that bunches a lot of hits together. They hit home runs. You know, they get on with their speed. They get on with their with clutch hitting. They don't play small ball. They don't have a lot of productive outs. They hit home runs. And that's exactly what they've done so far. That's why they're in the lead. Again, you know, you see 10, you look at the line. If you look at the strikeouts for DeGrom, like 10 strikeouts. Oh, well, 11 now. 11 strikeouts. Oh, Mets had to win that game. No, look at the home runs. And again, you keep the Braves in a ballpark, you got a better chance of winning, of not having them. And look, they're all solo home runs. They're not, you know, these home runs are not blowing open the game, right? It's a 2-run lead. Again, it feels like a huge deficit at this point, the way the Mets have been lacking in the scoring department, but they're still in the ball game, right? They just got to get it going. It's very simple. Listen, if the offense did what they had to do, this game would look a lot different, even if with the 3 home runs from the Braves. So we're going to the top of the 7th. Mets got 3 more at-bats to see if they can come back in this ball game. And can it happen? Will it happen? Might not happen. We'll see. Here we go. Raisel Iglesias is in. Type of guy that can pitch 2 innings for sure. Let's see if the Mets can get to him. Been one of the best pitchers in the Braves bullpen since they got him.
The California Angels, Los Angeles Angels, 1 run in 24 appearances.
That's a 0.4.
Mark Canna's leading low, 4.56 for the Mets.
As opposed to a 4.04 ERA as an Angel.
Who knew he was available? Anybody in baseball would have wanted this reliever.
Started out in Cincinnati, had some terrific years there. Now can pitch multiple innings for you if necessary. Canna fouls off the cutter, and it's 0-2.
Canna must have seen Iglesias when he was in a Los Angeles Angels uniform.
Well, Vogelback, again, this is how, that's what the Mets done over all year. They took advantage of their mistakes.
McNeil on deck, and Eduardo Escobar for the Mets in the 7th. So here's a question for you. Let's get down to Alvarez, who's due up 4th in the inning. Does he bat against the right-hander?
I got him. Let me take that back. Vogelback on the bench.
Mine, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough to use,
Think about it.
what's his face? Excuse me, Iglesias for one inning, but that's what they've been doing, so makes sense, right? Iglesias, Minter, Jansen, nice pitch.
And Iglesias strikes out Canna for the first out of the 7th.
Nasty change over Iglesias. Throw small.
Ariel, that's cool, buddy.
Slider, fastball,
Hopefully you have fun.
Change. Durable. Rubber arm. Gamer.
So 1 out and nobody on for Jeff McNeil.
You know, the best thing about Iglesias is that hard sinker he throws. It's very hard to lift that pitch. Get a lot of ground balls with that pitch. And strikeouts as well. All right, McNeil is up 1 out.
Watch the arm speed for Iglesias. I mean, just a whip. You know, when he first came up, he probably was 20 pounds lighter, although he's in great shape, but he was a wisp of a thing. And that's how you would really notice how he'd get behind the baseball. He was a whip since day one.
Yeah, I would keep Alvarez in as well. Give him the whole game.
McNeil hits one out to left center. Back in the gap goes Harris.
That's where they're playing McNeil, shading him to the left side. 2 outs.
Braves just announced their 40th sellout of the season.
I don't know, Kayla. I mean, you didn't win the World Series last year.
And that's the way it goes after you win a World Series. Your attendance goes up.
It's not like that. I usually stay
And
in this area.
they got 97 wins, possibly 98 after tonight.
And this entire
Ariel, I am watching through SNY.
It's just a fantastic place for fans to hang out all day.
I agree, Ella. That's what he does. All right, 2 outs, nobody on. 3-1 Braves, 7th inning. Escobar up.
This is a right-hand batter. Struck out in the 4th. Turns around to bat left-handed and takes outside ball 1. Escobar has a home run in 3 career at-bats against Iglesias. Lays off that changeup, and it's 2-0. And Iglesias really going heavy with his changeup tonight. Pitching only throws.
Look, this is not just about the DeGrom, right? I mean, 3 runs here. You got to. It's the offense, and it's been like that the whole month of September.
Alvarez out on deck, and Escobar fouls back.
Offense has been a major concern.
Max Fried left because he was feeling ill. He went 5, allowed 1 on 4 hits, retired.
Oh yeah, Kayla. Of course, it was a good combination of players, but they're the same team that had other opportunities to win multiple World Series in the 90s. They didn't do it.
The Mets looking for their next base runner. With 2 out of the top of the 7th, down 3-1. That slug down the right field line, back toward the corner. Acuna can't get there.
All right, that should be a double for Escobar with 2 outs. The only guy hitting on this team. 2 out double. All right.
Just can't keep Escobar down. That's
Here comes Alvarez.
5 hits now.
Tying run coming to the plate.
And the Mets will get the tying run to bat.
Nice piece of hitting. Again, it's very hard to lift that ball, that sinker that Iglesias throws. Again, you can tell Acuna is not the same player. He usually runs that ball down. All right, Alvarez is hitting, coming up with the tying run. See what he can do here. I think he needs to look. Go for base hits here. Why not?
This year to face the right-hander. Loops one foul off to the right, 0-1.
I gotta say, Alvarez is a swinger, man. I'm telling you.
315 against lefties this year.
He does not get cheated.
240 against right-handers. But even with Tyler Naquin and Daniel Vogelbach, experienced left-hand batters on the bench, Buck's going to stick with Alvarez
because of his threat of tying this game up with one swing.
And that fastball catches the corner, and now he's in the 0-2 hole.
I hope so, but you know what, Bravos? He might be hurting himself playing every day like that, too. All right, 0-2 pitch to Alvarez.
And Alvarez flies one out to center. Should be playable for Harris.
Just got under it. 3 outs. Didn't get it done. Just got under it. That was the pitch to hit, but did not get the job done. Going to the bottom of the 7th. Braves 3, Mets 1. Well, one thing I got to say, at least Alvarez swings the bat at the DH spot. Again, he just got under that ball. And that was a pitch to hit right there. So, bottom 7. 3-1 Braves. I'm assuming DeGrom is going to pitch the 7th. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. They didn't show anybody in the bullpen, but that doesn't mean anybody's not warming up. So, once again, guys, welcome to Talking Mets and Rob. Braves versus Mets. Game 1, 3-1 Braves going to the bottom of the 7th. And we'll see what happens. Yeah, I do think he's very confident. Look, he's very confident in his swings for sure. Again, the first at bat, he hit a bullet. Great play by Riley. Second at bat, got jammed a little bit, but he's swinging. That's one thing he does. And you know what? Listen, I want to see him swing. Like I says, he had every one of those at bats were pretty good, right? That was a pitch to hit. Iglesias hung that pitch. He missed it. And that's where you're at. I don't know, Lion. They didn't show anybody in the bullpen, but then again, that doesn't mean anybody's warming up in the bullpen. Not warming up, so I don't know. If DeGrom is not pitching the 7th, I'm assuming they're either going to go to Lugo or Ottavino in the 7th. But we'll wait and see. JL, I don't think you can count on Soroka, man. I said this in the beginning of the year. Tearing your Achilles twice, and then, I mean, he was walking in the clubhouse when he tore his Achilles again. Like, that's something that I just don't understand it. Like, holy Christ. Like, for a young, great pitcher who could have been the ace, he's better than Max Fried, Soroka, and he can't get on the mound. It sucks. You know, hopefully he is back next year because he's such a good pitcher. But what are you going to do? You know, I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, but you did get lucky that Strider rolled into this rotation as well. That helped you out a little bit for sure. All right, so bottom of the 7th, 3-1 Braves. They still didn't show if DeGrom's still pitching. I can't tell you. Tyler McGill is in the game. Interesting. Tyler McGill is in the 7th inning. That's not what I would have done, but all right. Well, put in the kids that they were going to want in the playoffs in the bullpen and throwing them out there. We'll see what he does. No, Strider's hurt, Alien. So only 6 innings, 3 runs, 11 strikeouts for DeGrom. Again, quality start, but not a DeGrom type of start.
Olsen has one of the 3 home runs for the Braves tonight. That came back in the 2nd. And he slugs this one in right field for a base hit. So on a 1-0 fastball, Olsen.
I don't like McGill in this spot.
And the Braves have a leadoff man on
at all. You know, especially when you have Ottavino and Lugo. And this is what Buck does a lot. When they're down, he doesn't put his A bullpen pieces in the game. I don't know why he doesn't do that. I mean, you want to keep it 2 runs. You want it to go to 4 or 5.
So far, it hasn't.
I don't know, Ella. I don't know. McGill has not been good so far since he's been back up.
All of a sudden, there's going to be a better version of themselves. this is the first time that he has come out of the bullpen really as a regular bullpen guy with the Mets. And, you know, the whole thing about warming
It's
up,
DeGrom's last stop
getting
before the
ready,
playoffs.
we
Well,
just haven't seen
it
that
could be
AJ Minter getting
because of the
pitch
off
the
day.
eighth
Oh, wait,
inning
there is
for
no more
Atlanta.
off days. So, yeah, it
Be able
is.
to throw harder. But can you hit the corners? That's what this game is about.
Actually, DeGrom could pitch the last game against Washington, I
And
think.
he swings and misses a high
If I'm not
fastball,
mistaken.
but I guess my
I think
point is that
that's
his
possible.
velocity
Let me
is
see.
not a bit
Hold
higher.
on.
In
Let me just
fact,
double
it's been
check.
lower than it was.
We were teased on opening day when he took that start and threw 99 miles an hour. Is that what we thought we were going to see when he came out of the pen? Right. It's a guy that suffered an injury this year. And coming back from injury, you never know what you're going to get.
Average fastball
He would
was
pitch the last game of the season
95.8, and it's been about what he's done as a
in
rookie,
Washington,
too.
depending on the situation the Mets are in.
Carves one out to right center
That might be a
field, slices
gapper.
away from Gimel, back in the gap, and it's off the wall. Heading for third is Olsen. He'll be stopped there.
All right, so 2 base hits, a double for Darno, second and third, nobody out.
Second and third, and nobody out.
First game between these two teams in early May was Darno with 2.
So that's where it is right now. Again, this is why I didn't like McGill in this spot. He's a guy who throws a very straight fastball, and if he doesn't get his breaking ball over, which he hasn't yet, that's the bigger problem right now. That's why, you know, with a 2-run lead for the Braves, you want to keep it at 2 runs. Why you would actually use.
McGill finds himself in instant trouble. Second and third, and nobody out. William
I would use Ottavino or Lugo, but Buck didn't go that route.
Down 3-1 in this game. Contreras is grounded out. and
Well,
struck
McGill's in a
out.
bad spot right here. Second and third, nobody out.
And he swings and misses at a high fastball. 0-1. No first hit of the night for Darno, but he's done plenty of hitting against the Mets since they unceremoniously dumped him coming back from Tommy John surgery. He has forged himself a great.
I mean, they could have kept DeGrom in or went to Lugo or Ottavino in that spot. That's why I don't understand why McGill's in this spot, though. I don't like that at all, but
It's a big part of the Mets National League Championship in 2015.
Nicholas, no, they haven't.
Over the World Series.
It's the Braves and the Mets
Or the National League
have
Championship.
amazing records in the NL East.
McGill needing a strikeout ahead on Contreras 0-2. Eddie Rosario on deck.
Ball's too good.
I agree, Paris. Again, I would have kept DeGrom. I think he had, 86 pitches?
That Alvarez hit pretty well to center field. That's too good of a pitch.
They do.
Against Contreras.
Ottavino and Lugo. And if you want to even count Drew Smith, problem is, I don't like McGill in this spot. I don't think everybody couldn't wait for McGill to come back in the bullpen. I don't like McGill in the bullpen at all.
Olsen at third, Darno at second with nobody out. Contreras lays off the slider. 1-2. DeGrom threw 86 pitches over
Yeah, they
6
do,
innings,
Steven.
allowed 3 runs, 5 hits, no walks, 11 strikeouts, 3 home runs. And J.C. Array ticks up over 3. It's now at 3.08.
Once you count Contreras.
Not sure we ever thought we'd see that again. Fastball away, 2-2 to Contreras.
And now Trevor May is up in the bullpen.
McGill facing his third batter.
No, more. If the Mets win one of these games, it's going to be hard for the Braves to win a division because it's not in their hands. That's the whole thing that we've been talking about the entire stream.
And he
Popped it up.
behind first. Alonso retreating. And it's down
1 out.
He makes the catch.
All right, that's a good out so
Big
far.
out for
Still second and
McGill
third,
as he
1
gets
out.
Contreras to foul out one away.
That was great play by Pete. He gets situated and moves the ball.
All right, Rosario, 2 strikeouts today against DeGrom. Third at bat against McGill.
So how do you handle this situation? You got the left-hand batter in Rosario, and then you've got Arcia, the number 9 hitter on deck. You've got first base open. Who's out base Rosario? Yeah, I would think about walking him, right?
I mean, 3 runs, 6 innings, 11 strikeouts, no walks. 6 innings. It's not a bad start, but for DeGrom it is.
DeGrom struck him out at
I agree, Lion.
Mets
Contreras is a
tonight.
very underrated hitter.
Troubles in left field that led to the only Mets run. Infield stays in, second and third, one out. And Rosario late on that fastball.
Very late on that fastball. Interesting.
Almost like he was trying to shoot one to left field.
Oh, Ken, I agree. I don't know why McGill's in this ball game. Okay, McGill can get out of this inning, but it's still not a good move.
Garcia on deck.
Muted? I don't know. I can't tell you.
6 hits, the Braves, 3 runs, 7 hits. We're in the 7th. And that's lifted out to right center.
All right, that should get a run in.
Olsen tagging. Nimmo catching. Olsen comes down the line to score, and it's 4-1.
And 4-1 Braves. So productive out for the Braves, giving a 3-run lead for the Braves. Probably Minter chipper.
Rosario drives in a run with a sacrifice fly. And the Braves now have a 3-run lead. Garneau went to third on the plate, 2 out. And now the number 9 hitter.
All right, RC is up. 2 outs, man on third.
That was caught a rundown between third and home later in the inning.
Minter's one of the better relievers in baseball.
Getting the start at second base tonight over the rookie Vaughn Grissom.
Well,
Late on the fastball.
JL, again, it's nice to see them get a productive run here. But again, the home runs and strikeouts is a big issue. And again, if it's no home runs, it's a tie ball game. But again, the Mets don't score either. So, woo.
With the division on the line,
Yeah, you just won the World Series since '95.
Latest pregame news, updates, and analysis as this weekend's heated Mets Braves series continues. City pregame.
I mean, Isaiah, you should be embarrassed if you win the division every year and can't win a World Series more than once, right? The Mets never win the division, so they can't even make the playoffs. You make the playoffs every year, and you finally win a World Series. Nobody's not respecting you here. I think you have a problem with that. I agree, JL.
Mets and Nationals as they start the final series of the regular season at Citi Field. 2-1 to Garcia. Fell back. 2-2.
I'll turn my phone off. You want to text during the game time when we're watching from just that call.
It'll be very nice. I'll be relaxing on the couch by Buddy the Basset Hound.
Is a baseball fan?
Gracie, she just loves to sit.
Ariel, it's only one game right now, but yeah, they're making the playoffs, both teams, no matter what happens for the division.
Want nothing to do with me. 2-2 on the way. That's upstairs, 3-2. You sit and watch by yourself?
I do watch it by myself. My family will ask, "What are you doing tonight?" And I'll go, "Well, the Mets game is on Fox. I have to watch it. It's the end of the season."
I agree, JL. I agree 100%.
All right, good night. Then they're gone. So they're 10 toes up. I'm by myself. So they don't need a texting buddy doing it.
So 3-2 count to Arcia.
The first couple of innings, she won't exactly be watching. That's drilled.
Oh, that's gone.
Center field off the bat of Arcia, headed back toward the wall.
Off the wall. That's another run for the Braves, 5-1.
Arcia pulls into second base.
I told you, McGill shouldn't have been in this game. That's why I didn't want McGill in this ballgame. Has not pitched well since he came back off the IL. And here comes. I don't know who's coming in. Let's see. Right down the middle. Again, McGill's fastball is straight as hell.
Well, he's been red hot. Arcia, 2 hits in this game now, right off the middle of the wall.
It is very difficult, but the amount of division titles you had compared to titles, it's not a good percentage. But again, you got to win it. You got to make it to win it. So that's the whole issue with the Mets. All right, so the bullpen's coming in once again. As I said, when I saw McGill, I did not get that because he's hasn't been good since he came back off the IL, and I don't see McGill as a reliever, as I said. Sorry. So, again, DeGrom, 3 home runs, 11 strikeouts, no walks, 6 innings. Should have pitched the 7th, or at least Seth Lugo or Ottavino should have been in the game, not McGill. But again, Buck's done this all year. When the Mets are down by 1-2 runs, he puts in a non-A bullpen arm, and he has a B bullpen arm in this situation. He doesn't use his A guys when they're down in the game. I don't get it. You know, a 2-run ball game is a lot easier than a 4-run ball game. But, guys, stop talking about Marte. It's not about Marte. I agree, Eric. And you know what? Listening to WFN and Salicata, that's exactly what you had to do. You have to keep DeGrom in for 7 innings. For sure. Yeah, but again, the Braves consistently have been good as well, right? You could say the same thing about the Dodgers. They've won just as many division titles as the Braves. And again, it's not easy to win World Series. You got to make it to win it. And again, you know, well, we'll see, Isaiah. We'll see. Again, he has a 6.5 ERA against the Mets. So, bravos. I don't know how far you finished, been following the channel though, but all right, sorry. Trevor May is in the ball game. Guy on second, 5-1 Braves.
7th, after the Braves added 2 against Tyler McGill. May gets his first changeup in for a strike to Ronald Acuna. Well, it was an experiment to have Tyler McGill come back as a reliever in September to see whether he could be an impact player for September and beyond.
Well, I do have to say,
well, all those Met fans that wanted Tyler McGill, Tyler McGill's going to go in the bullpen. I said this from the beginning. I do not like putting guys in that didn't pitch in the bullpen all year and expect them to do well in pressure situations. Not happening. I agree, JL. I agree. But you also didn't get it done either. And those are teams that were favorites every year. You know, besides the Yankees. Like, you should have won 2 World Series in a row. You were up 2-0 against the Yankees. I agree, Isaiah. I love it. Like it says, but you got to take it when the Mets win as well. You guys don't. Except for a few of you. Again, Todd, that's what I was saying the whole time. This is what McGill does. McGill got a straight fastball. He's not a guy who I think can be a good bullpen arm. And then Trevor May comes in and can't throw strikes either. That's it. Again, Buck Showalter, when you're down, even if it's a close game, 1-run, 2-run ball game, he puts his B relievers in, not his A relievers. He never does it. He did this the entire year.
2 strikeouts, 8 walks. That's the good part. 9 home runs. That's the not so good part. May runs a full count to Acuna with Dansby Swanson waiting on deck. AJ Minter's been warming up for a half an hour.
That last game that DeGrom pitched against the Braves was outstanding. The Mets couldn't score. And look, this game was a quality start. The Mets couldn't score. He gave up 3 home runs. I mean, and May strikes him out. But they scored 2 more runs to give a 4-run lead going to the top of the 8th. Honestly, I take either or. Again, I think Snicker, with the type of talent you have on the team, again, he made a little couple of bonehead decisions in the playoffs. Talent usually takes over most of the time. Again, it's really not Buck Showalter's fault that once he left and he builds up the teams, he leaves and they win World Series. The Diamondbacks did it. The Yankees did it. The Orioles made the playoffs a lot of the years that he did it. You know, the one bad time, the bad Isaiah, he looked like a regular pitcher. I agree. But he struck out 11 guys in 6 innings, no walks, gave up 3 solo home runs. He didn't blow this game. The Mets offense blew this game. He pitched better than he did all month. But the home runs are still an issue for Jacob deGrom. Again, this is not on the pitcher tonight. This is the offense. They had opportunities to get to Fried. They did not do it. This is all about the offense here. You're not beating the Braves on 1 run. It's just not happening. Lion, I think it's 3. I think he had a ground ball in the first inning. I think he had 3 strikeouts. He is 0 for 4. No, exactly, Todd. In 94, the Yankees were the best team in baseball. Them and the Expos. They would look like it was a collision course for the World Series until the strike. So Buck got screwed in that aspect. And then, some guys got hurt in 95. Mattingly wasn't the same player. He was hurt. And then, Steinbrenner does Steinbrenner. He gets pissed, and then that's it. Joe Torre took over when all the core 4 of the Yankees came, and Joe Torre, all he had to do was sit there, and they won. So, no, the Mets had offense all year except the month of September. They've been one of the best teams in baseball all year. You can't say they're overrated. That's a stupid comment. You could say the Braves are overrated considering the fact that they should be a lot better than what they are. Right? This month they should be 4 games up in the division, but they didn't do it. The Mets are not overrated. They're just performing badly in September. That's it. All right, so top of the 8, down by 4. Mets don't have a comeback. Braves win. Minter is in the ball game, which is expected. Vientos is up.
Vientos pinch hitting as we start the 8th.
Pinch hitting for who is he pinch hitting for? Let's see.
comes in the left field.
He pinch hit for Guillermo. All right.
56 out of the 72 have been scoreless appearances by the left-hander.
Vientos batting for Guillermo. Drove in the only man run tonight.
Nasty fastball.
In the second.
Exactly. You just made the point, Isaiah. 11. You were down 10.5 games in June. It took you 4 months to catch the Mets, not pass them. That's the thing I think you're forgetting. It's not a choke job when it takes you almost 5 months to catch a team. And the Mets are 20 games over 500. You can't predict that the Braves are 40 games over 500. That's historic run.
And now Minter in the 8th with the Braves having forged a larger lead. 2-2 now to Vientos.
Their last game, the Braves bullpen went 6 1/3 scoreless. Not scoreless.
Well, that dumb stance.
And lost the game in the extra innings.
Yeah, that's an honored run.
Yeah, it was just
Free run.
Don't worry, Isaiah. I know you're only here when the Braves win. I know your name. Trust me. You don't show up. Where were you when you lost to the Nationals? You weren't here.
Here's the 2-2.
Ground ball should be an out for Swanson, and it is. 1 out.
it's the folks that get it for free and think they earned it. That's the issue.
You're very good at taking the free run.
Ken, you got to do what you got to do.
Holding the free run.
Well, yeah, it sucks for both teams. You're both going to win 100 games, and one's going to lose the division, unfortunately.
Well, if the Mets don't rally and win this game, that means they cannot clinch the division in Atlanta. That was the specter if the Mets could have swept this series. Which is still on the table with 5 outs to play with.
Because, JD, you claim you're a Dodgers fan, but then you root for the Mets. I don't understand that. Because, all right, you want me to give you a nice little Braves respect? Okay, here we go. I don't respect the Dodgers World Series because it was in a 60-game season. I do respect the hell out of the Atlanta Braves winning in a real season. There you go. There's your compliment.
Outside to Nito 2-0.
I'm not crushing the Braves. The point is, they still haven't passed the Mets for more than 24 hours since April 5th. Braves fans, back to back, you got a long way to go. Rodriguez is in warming up for the bullpen. I have to do that. Once again, Braves fans come only when they win. Front runners.
He was behind 2-0.
Yeah, but Todd, you can't worry about October 5th. October 5th might not matter. You know what I'm saying?
Nito had a good cut of that fastball and fouled it back 2-1.
What, one game? Again, you guys got to sweep to give yourself an opportunity to take advantage of the NL East. You don't sweep. The series was basically irrelevant for both teams.
Huge game for the Brewers after the Phillies won today to go a game in front of Milwaukee.
Isaiah, you're a front runner. That's what you are. You've always been that.
Fly ball toward the gap in right center. Back goes Harris to the warning track.
Oh, Nito hits a home run the opposite field. 5-2. All right. It always does better than McCann. Braves fans, you only show when you win. Sorry.
It's now 5-2 Atlanta.
I'm not trashing success.
Throwing a shock into the system by going the other way and clearing the high wall in right center.
I agree. But again, the Dodgers in 162 season, unlike the Braves, choked in 162 game series, get into the playoffs. Oh, Isaiah, I know who the front runners are. I'm sorry.
Especially by a right-handed hitter, but he got it up. But it never came out of the air.
I know who the front runners who always come in when the Braves win. I know who you are. Trust me. The streams should show it all. It shows you the times when people come into a stream and stay in a stream. It shows every one of them.
Had that long stretch without a home run.
They're like good, and I don't even know sometimes. All right, well, they cut it to 5-2. Probably not going to be enough, but Nito's still been a way better hitter than James McCann. Not even close.
Cutter in for a strike.
Ricky, I agree. I do agree with that. I never said that.
AJ Minter, that's just the fifth home run he's allowed this year.
The Mets didn't choke in 2015. They were a big surprise in 2015. They should have never been there in the first place. That was off Minter, yes. Tim, I said it when he first came in. McGill makes no sense in that situation. Well, top of the order for the Mets. 1 out, down by 3.
It's a grand slam in the 8th inning to beat them.
That's another reason why Buck puts his B guys in. And look, if you put in your A guys, maybe it would be 3-2 instead of 5-2.
They won that game, but now they're a game behind. Breaking ball fouled away. Unlike the Brewers and the Phillies, who are playing just to get in, these two teams know they're in. They're playing for the division title pride, but more importantly for that 5-day break and not having to play in the wild card round.
That's all right, Ricky. The Met fans, believe me, they're around. Trust me. You'll be surprised.
Division would be the second seed.
Well, Minter's not having his put-away pitch.
5-6 years.
Well, Connecticut has always been Yankees area.
To the end of October this year into November.
Yeah, Evan Roberts got after Buck the other night. I like that.
And even more so this year.
Yeah, but Connecticut's Yankee area for sure. Again, Brooklyn, obviously Queens, Manhattan is kind of mostly Yankee fans, but it's mostly split. Staten Island, mostly Yankee fans.
So if you can avoid that first round, it certainly helps.
Ooh, just off the plate. I agree, Todd. The whole point was not putting in that type of reliever in that spot. Yeah, well, JD, let's talk about Dave Roberts, who's blown how many series for the Dodgers? Again, 60-game season champions. Nice pitch. Tied up Nimmo, 2 outs.
Victor has his first
McGill is not overrated. McGill is not a reliever. I'm sorry. He's just not a major league reliever. I don't care what he did in college.
Since 95, when the Mets and Braves have finished 1-2 in the division, it's always been the Braves. The one that sticks in the craw is not the one.
Well, Ricky, I agree with that.
2000s, after all, the Mets got to the World Series that
I'm
year.
sorry. You can't talk about Buck and not bring up Dave Roberts, who's
Already had the division
destroyed
round, and
the
Mets
Dodgers'
went to
chances
Atlanta.
many times in the
Needed to
playoffs.
win one game the last weekend to win a wild card.
All right, Pete Alonso, 2 outs, 5-2 Braves, top of the 8th.
The Friday night game, never forget, down by a run in the 8th inning, was Pete Alonso batting. Down by a run in the 8th inning. Jay Payton, just up from the minor leagues, was brought into pinch run.
If you talk about Buck being garbage, you have to talk about Dave Roberts being garbage. But it's JD, so he's a Mets fan for a week, and then he's a Dodger fan. So Tony Release is a great manager. He should never be managing anymore. That's the difference.
I don't think people remember how great Andrew Jones was. Yeah. I mean, for as great as the Braves pitching was during that whole stretch of time.
Well, Buck has a $300 million payroll.
He was so much of a factor.
The difference is, look at the lineup and the stacked roster for the Dodgers, excuse me. And Dave Roberts won one championship in a pandemic year. All right, so Pete Alonso 1-1, 2 outs.
Those are large shoes.
Yes, they are. I shouldn't even put that on him, but that's how good he looks to me.
I mean, to me, if you add the defense with the 400-plus home runs, Andrew Jones is a no doubt about it Hall of Fame.
I'm with you, and you watched him play all those games, Gary. 51 home runs in 2005 when he was the runner-up to the MVP.
Center fielder this side of Willie Mays. 2-1 to Alonso's 1 for 3 tonight. And that catches the corner at the top of the zone.
Isaiah, you really have to agree. Brave fans are very much front runners. But you are passionate. I give you that. Well, JD, you don't even know what team to root for, so don't go on everybody else. You even said it yourself. You like the Mets and you're a Dodger fan. How is that even possible? That should never happen. 2-2 count to Alonso. Alonso pops it up. Might be out of play, but it's not. Toronto got it. 3 outs. No problem, Christopher. All right. Mets get 1 run closer. It could have been a 1-run deficit, but again, put it in B relievers in that spot. Not happening. It's just that wasn't a good call. Well, I agree. Like I've been saying, from Met fans going on Braves channels, Brave fans going on Mets channels, Yankee fans going on whoever channels. When you root for your team from the start of the stream, again, you get busy, you got things to do. I'm not expecting you to be here 24/7. Well, Isaiah, that's all fan bases. Thank you, Tim. Thank you. Appreciate that. I agree. Isaiah, but here's the thing with the Braves fans, specifically the Braves fans. I'm not talking about fans in Atlanta for the Falcons or the Hawks or whoever else you want to talk about, right? Specifically Brave fans. Brave fans are very much front runners. They've always been that way, and they are still that way. Again, passionate and front runners are two different things. What I don't like is when people come on the stream, this goes for Mets fans as well. When Braves fans, but see, Gavin, that's the thing. They don't come when they lose. When they lose, they know where to be found. Again, go on Wednesday when the Mets won that game and came back. The Braves fans were all over the stream when the Mets were losing 4-0. The Mets won, the Braves lost. The only person was 2 people were here with JL and Bravos, who are Brave fans. And that's the problem that I have. Met fans too. I know Met fans troll on the Braves channel. I know Yankee fans troll on Mets channels and probably other channels as well. But Dick, I'm not talking about bandwagon fans. I'm talking about front runners. When you're in between where you're like, yeah, I can root for the Braves, but I don't really care about baseball. And then Braves are winning and you show up. That's the difference. Well, Lion again, but you also a fan base that had a lot of bad choke jobs by your own teams in your own city as well. All right, here we go. Bottom of the 8th, 5-2 Braves.
Comes into play right field after Guillorme left for a pinch hitter. Rodriguez.
Isaiah, but you weren't here on Wednesday. You see the problem with that?
Rodriguez pitched last 6 days ago against Oakland.
No, I don't congratulate you because I don't give you
That's not okay.
the platform to continue to talk on the channel that don't appreciate a fan of two teams because you can't be. Sorry. I'm sorry. Like, at least Brave fans are saying they're Brave fans. They're not saying they like the Phillies, but I'm a Braves fan, or like the Padres and I'm a Braves fan. Isaiah, and that's the point that when people say, oh, the Mets aren't a good team, the Mets are a bad team, the last wildcard team is not going to win. Like you just said, Isaiah, the worst record in the playoffs, and you won the World Series. That's why baseball's playoffs is so much fun right now.
Swanson will lead off at the bottom of the 8th. To only the 4th Met pitcher of the night. Swanson homered in the 6th inning, the 3rd of 3 solo home runs against Jacob deGrom.
All right, let's see if Rodriguez can hold it to 5-2 for the Mets to get last licks against Kenley Jansen, which the Braves, for some reason, continue to let him be a closer. I mean, it's a 3-run lead, so it shouldn't be too much of a drama, but who knows? No, Isaiah, that's why I don't delete you or block you. But I do call you out when you're not here when your team loses. When you show up when the Mets lose, you seem like to be there when the Mets lose, but when the Braves lose, you're not here. Look, you can give it, but make sure you take it as well. I'm here. I can end the stream now. I don't think the Mets are coming back, but I don't do that. It's not fair for Brave fans to not get their hits in.
They just signed 38-year-old Charlie Morton to come back for another year.
CeeLo's a good channel, though. He has a good channel. Again, I think he's a homer, but I don't expect certain channels to be critical of their teams
Most of those players, other than Olsen,
much.
signed early in their career.
And a lot of them to very team-friendly deals.
But yeah, you take the division every year, but you don't get a trophy for winning the division. You get a trophy for winning a championship. Respect for you last year.
This ball catches, right in the side of the neck.
Yeah, Ricky, I got that too. I know. Look, there's assholes in every fan base. That's, I don't care who you are, Mets fan, Yankee fan, Braves fan, Philly fan. There's assholes everywhere who take it personal instead of just keeping it baseball related.
This is with a changeup, and it's 2-2. Your Spectrum Mobile high-speed hitting that Olsen's home run. The second of the 3 home runs hit against deGrom.
Who's my top 5? Well, the best team in baseball are the Astros. It's not the Dodgers. They're number 2.
Hit it hard enough.
Look, JD, you said it earlier. Oh, nice play by Escobar. 1 out. Again, does it really matter if you're the best team in baseball record-wise for the season? No, it doesn't. Right? Where were the Dodgers last year? The Braves with 88 wins and you with 106 wins. The Braves wiped your ass all over the floor. I mean, the Dodgers had 20 more wins than you. It doesn't matter.
So 1 out and nobody on. Now Michael Harris, who had an infield hit in the 3rd, but that hit led to an out on a headsy.
All right, so we got 1 out in the 8th. Harris is up.
Garcia was at second. Harris hit one off the back of the mound.
Oh, Isaiah. Well, I mean, that city has choked a lot, especially with all the success you had in baseball, division-wise. And when there's foul. Sorry, I caught it in the corner man.
In the top of the ninth, Mets will have
And that's the
3, 4,
Isaiah
5
thing right
hitters
there.
coming up. Lindor, Canna, and McNeil. And they've got Vogelback still on the bench as a
I did give my
left-handed
answer.
pitcher.
I said the
If
Astros,
they need one,
not the Dodgers.
Kenley Jansen getting himself
But the
ready.
Astros, when they're the favorites to win
Hitters against
and
Jansen are right
usually
here.
have the best record, they make the World Series, unlike the Dodgers.
But he went through a period where his cutter was not cutting. But what they have
Yeah,
done
exactly.
is they've made him stand taller.
Listen, Dodger fans are much more weaker and thin-skinned than the Braves fans, in my opinion.
That adjustment when he comes in.
Certainly the results have been better lately. After it looked like he might lose his closer's job to Raisel Iglesias, sort of like the way Craig Kimbrell lost his closer's
Well, yeah,
job
Dick, but
to
that wasn't the
Dodgers.
only reason why
That's the one question
the Dodgers lost that
as
series.
they head to the postseason after a magnificent year in which they
I agree,
won
Isaiah.
8, is how are they going to line up at the
That's
end
why I
zone?
like CeeLo Lion,
Past the mound, but Lindor's right there behind the bag.
because he welcomed fans of other teams, unlike some Mets channels and some Braves channels and some Yankee channels.
Echo Sports Night tonight after the post game. Max Scherzer gets the ball tomorrow night, game 2 of this series. Zach Wilson ready to play for the Jets this Sunday. And update on the Giants as well. Echo Sports
Jason,
Night
it's
tonight
one
after the
game,
post
buddy.
game right here.
Braves got to sweep to put the division in their own hands. They don't sweep. It comes down to the Mets doing their job. Still in the Mets' hand with the tiebreaker.
The shutout game is always thrown every postseason by Walker Buehler, who's not available.
No Bueller, no Trinan. I don't know if Gratterol is really healthy.
Ground ball should end the inning,
And he throws
and
out
it
right
does.
lane,
All right,
over.
so the Mets
Kenley Jansen
coming up
comes
with
out
last
front.
licks. 3-run lead for the Braves, 3-4-5 for the Mets. Can Kenley Jansen, who's pitched a little bit better over the last week, but he is that type of guy. If he starts walking the ballpark and has no control, you might have an issue. But 3-run lead, Jansen's been pitching better. I don't expect the Mets to come back, but you never know. I know, Ken. I said it already. Yeah, Isaiah, I find it hard to believe that anybody's sweeping the series like this. Well, Ryan, that's what I've been saying when it comes to a lot of teams, right? Like, I brought this up 100 times. That's why some Brave fans think I'm disrespecting the Braves. I'm not. They won 88 games last year. They were not the favorites to even make the NLCS. But they won the World Series winning 88 games. Who cares what they did in the season? Do you think Brave fans go back and say, damn, we had 88 wins? No, you win the World Series. Rock that flag. Rock that gear. Why not? You know, that's the point. That Dodger fans don't get in their heads. They're the favorites to win every year. Yet they find a way to blow it every year, except for a 60-game season, where it took the Rays and the Dodgers, 7 games to beat the Rays in a pandemic year, where it was neutral site. Big difference when you have to travel. Well, JD, but you're contradicting your own remarks. That's what I'm trying to say to you. You keep on saying, oh, who's the best team in the season? Well, it's still not the Dodgers. Best team in the National League, record-wise, yes. But that hasn't come to fruition in the last 4 years in baseball for the World Series, right? Again, 60-game season, you can't see who's the best team. I'm sorry, you just can't. If the Braves, if we would have had a 60-game season this year, the Braves would be in 3rd place because how bad they were in April and May. So you can't look at the 60-game season. Again, you as a fan, rock your flag, rock your shirts. But at the same time, it's still the matter of who gets hot at the right time, like the Braves did last year. I didn't say the Dodgers were the best team. I said the Astros were. Record-wise, the Dodgers are the best team in the National League.
New York, Mets will have Lindor, Canna, and McNeil due up.
Well, the Dodgers have a super team for the last 5 years, and they have a pandemic championship. Braves have a legitimate championship.
He's got a 13-game hitting streak.
All right, so Francisco Lindor leading off. Jansen trying to close it for the Braves. Lion, as a Braves fan, why would you?
Jansen trying to save it for Max Fried.
You should have put that into the comments, man. That's just like jinxing it. Jansen's bad, but I mean, you can't blow a 3-run lead here.
Against AJ Minter in the 8th. That's all the Mets have managed against the Braves bullpen so far. And the door fouls away on a fastball. And it's 0-2. Tomorrow night, Max Scherzer against Kyle Wright. It's never a good sign when Buck's talking to Brian Chicklo, the head of team health.
It starts with Lindor, but he's 0-2 right now. And Jansen's pitching had thrown 2 nice pitches so far.
And let the rest to vacate. Cutter heading for his chin.
Ricky, the reason why I don't like that is the fact that Jansen is basically irrelevant in the bullpen if he's not the closer. And Iglesias, you're going to throw him just in the playoffs right away when he hasn't been there in his career? That's a problem. JD, are you even a fan? You're a Dodger fan and Mets fan. I don't know what you're talking. Oh, that's a terrible strikeout by Lindor. 1 out. Well, Isaiah, history shows. I mean, Isaiah, you like to bring up history with the Mets. History shows the Braves don't win back-to-back. So, JD, you can't talk about my fandom when you're a bandwagon Dodger fan and a Met fan when it's convenient for you. Game Smart, what's up, buddy?
Here's Canna, who's gone 0 for 3 today. And Marcus
Ooh, ouch. Canna just got hit. They got a base runner.
Magnet, that is Mark Canna. Hit for the 27th time this year.
I don't know if you're different. I mean, you had Chipper and Jones and Glavine and Maddox and Smoltz. I guarantee you Brave fans were saying they're different then, and they won 1 world championship. Again, you're good. Really damn good. But, again, you did win 88 games last year. You're winning at least 12 to 13 more this year. But that doesn't mean you're going to win the World Series. The Mets are different then. They're going to win 100 games. Well, okay, then, Isaiah, you just proved my point again. We didn't have Scherzer or DeGrom for a total of 14 weeks of the season. You don't think the Mets would have had more wins if he pitched at least 4 of those weeks? You have to look at it that way, too.
Canna takes off, and they'll let him go on defensive indifference. So that takes the double play possibility away.
Just need one more base runner in front of the red-hot Escobar.
Think he's got some more heroics in him?
Why not? It's still September. It's not past
It is. That's true. It's September for another 2 hours. And McNeil lines one.
All right. Mets got the tying run coming to the plate.
They'll go to third, and the Mets will get the tying run to bat with Eduardo Escobar.
Escobar coming up with the tying run. First and third, 1 out.
You want some drama?
Not over yet.
Now you got some drama.
JD, didn't you say that last year, too? They don't have the same pitching like they had last year.
Second hit of the night for McNeil.
Again, that's what I'm saying with Jansen. I don't understand. Iglesias is obviously the better pitcher. He's a closer. Why they don't do it, I don't get it. Again, it might not hurt you in this game, but
he comes to bat as the tying run. Escobar against Jansen, 3 for 12 with a home run.
all right, well, the Mets have opportunity here to tie the ball game here.
He's throwing 91, 92.
Now, last night,
And Escobar's been the hottest hitter in the Mets lineup in the month of September.
Escobar took one to the shortstop hole. Might be a little harder against the cutter of Jansen. We'll see. He's got a single and a double tonight, 2 for 3.
Ooh, going for the fences there. Nice cutter. Escobar's got to be patient here. Jansen can get very, very wild in these spots.
Situations are always different.
Alvarez is on deck. We also have Vogelback sitting in the dugout. Canna at third, McNeil at first with 1 out.
Well, the Mets seem to always do this. Always make it interesting in the ninth inning.
It's all the pressure on Jansen.
Escobar lays
Ooh.
off. It's up
That's a
away.
close pitch. 1-1.
Ball strike. Mets haven't had great at bats all night, but they're having some good at bats here.
How can you
tonight.
say that? I just don't understand.
This team has played a tough 27 outs all season long.
One and one to Escobar. And he lays
Ball
off that
two.
one and it missed upstairs, and now it's 2-1.
All right. Well, hitters count.
Even his takes are good.
Now remember, for Escobar, heading the count here, likes the ball down middle, down and in. And that's what a pitch that usually is a cutter will end up.
Two one coming in from Jansen.
Ball three.
All
right, 3-1 count.
Well, you got the rookie Alvarez in his first big league game, standing on deck, 20 years of age. Might be about to come up.
The Dodgers. He was a Dodger closer for a long time. Do a lot harder back
That's
then.
what you dream for.
All right, 3-1 count. Jansen a little wild here.
Jansen behind 3-1. Escobar looking for a pitch to drive. And he takes
Ball
it.
4. Bases loaded, 1 out. And is Alvarez coming up? Yes, he is.
Could you have scripted this?
Here we go. Here it comes.
Francisco Alvarez
The go-ahead run is coming to the plate.
to fill a niche for the Mets. Short of his 21st
He is up
birthday,
to hit. That is the only reason why he is up.
big league game.
Buck is giving him the confidence here. Not going to Vogelback in this spot.
Against one of the best closers of all time.
Going against the analytics. Here we go. Mets have a chance here, guys.
Center field in his last at-bat. This young man has tremendous power to all fields, but to right center and right field in particular.
Terrence Yolanda and Jose on their feet. Looking for his first big league hit. With Can at third, McNeil at second, Escobar at first, and 1 out.
Well, this is interesting.
And Alvarez swings and fouls it back.
Oof. That was not a good pitch by Jansen there.
Nothing in one.
Boy, he had a pitch to hit
That was a
there.
pitch that Jansen got lucky with right
Very
there.
fast bat. It's got what they call light tower power. He is up in a spot to do some major damage.
Gonna make a debut, make a debut.
Alvarez swings to the fastball.
Oh, he's over swinging.
Now it's 0-2.
Don't like that swing.
Balance there.
We'll try to hit a home run. It'll come naturally. Off balance.
It was a strike, but he tried to crush that ball.
A good hitter you are.
Lost his footing with his front foot there. So now he's down to the count 0-2. Howard Naquin on deck. And Alvarez swings and loses the bat, strike 3.
Overmatched there. 3 good pitches by Jansen.
Matching the rookie for the second out.
He's over swinging. That's exactly what he did there.
Mets are down to their final out of the night.
Second back throw for Alvarez.
All right.
You're
Well,
right.
it's up to Tyler Naquin
Against the
with 2
veteran
outs with
Mets.
bases loaded.
Just looking for lightning in a bottle. Lightning
Well,
stayed
what do
in
you
the
expect
bottle.
from a young kid like that who's a power hitter?
Tyler Naquin has got some power of his own. Naquin's first
This is actually a good matchup for Naquin.
this year.
Likes to throw the cutter in, low ball hitter.
5-2 Atlanta, 2 out. Top of the ninth.
2 of those home runs against the Braves.
And Naquin tries to lay off the first cutter. And he does
Ooh,
not swing. It's
I don't know about that. Ball 1.
Jansen very unhappy with that call. Comes wandering down off the
He
mound
did, but he also did
direction
nothing else after that.
of home plate. on deck to bat for Nito. If Naquin can keep this going. They hit batsman a single and a walk, loading him up. 2 down. And Naquin fouls it back. Cutter running it on him, 1-1.
If Jansen keeps that cutter up a little bit, let her high, it's very hard to hit.
That he has, the balance that he has to pause for so long before he delivers the pitch that I think makes the hitters uncomfortable in the box.
For Tyler Naquin also, this is his first career plate appearance against Kenley Jansen. Can at third, McNeil at second, Escobar at first, 2 out. And Naquin fouls one.
Oh, that was a pitch to hit. Another pitch to hit that was missed. Well, didn't expect drama in the ninth, but you got it. Rogue too long.
Jansen bidding for his 38th save of the year, trying to get the Braves the opener of this series. He's 1 strike away. Naquin trying to keep the Mets alive. One, two.
Foul ball, foul ball.
It hit the mitt, but it did not stick. And Naquin is still alive.
It is, Rogue.
Ball down, trying to go back door where that cutter ends up down. Just nipped by Naquin.
Didn't hit the pocket. Get on the heel of the glove.
JD, I can agree with you there. With McGill coming in, I didn't like that move at all.
Escobar at first will have such a big lead that any extra base hit, he'll score easily.
That's true, Isaiah.
Steps to left, so if Naquin pulls one to right, the long run home. First, he's got to make contact against Jansen. A tough go for him. Down to the count, 1 and 2. And he lays off. Nice take on the sinker, and now it's 2 and 2. Tyler Naquin.
Well, he's battling there.
Deadline acquisitions.
Catchers have almost to a man across the league pick the ball in the dirt now, but block it.
When he pitches deep into this ninth inning, Jansen gets ready for a 2-2 to Naquin. And Tyler just
Another foul ball. Wow.
Wow. That is twice in the last 3 pitches that Naquin has only just barely kept this game alive.
Go down swinging.
Just committed so late and kind of threw the bat.
Go down swinging. That's the way I see it. And he's doing that. That was a nasty pitch, Ella. That ball started right on the plate and dropped.
Speed a little better into this at bat.
Cutters and sinkers. Does Jansen leave one where Naquin can hit it hard? Bases loaded, 2 out. 2-2 coming. And Naquin pops one wide of first. Olsen comes over.
Wow, it went out of play.
On the dugout.
I did not. I thought that was in play.
And yet again, Naquin has life. 7 pitches
Isaiah,
deep in this at bat.
I have to play the lottery.
And still going.
But then again, a grand slam doesn't necessarily the Mets win. He's got the bottom of the ninth there.
Just in case. And he hasn't had a real good swing in this entire at bat.
Big Bernie Carbo.
There you go.
Well, even if Naquin gets out, he's battling though. I mean, you don't expect much from Naquin, but he's battling.
8th pitch of the at bat coming from Jansen to Naquin. And Tyler with a check swing fouls that one off.
What the hell?
Coming in interesting.
Wow.
How many different ways can Tyler Naquin stay in it at bat? A foul tip off the glove. An emergency hack into the ground. A foul pop-up that just made it out of play. Now a check swing out of play. And he lives to fight again. Waiting for that one. Again, the 2. And Naquin foul tips one for strike 3.
All right. And the ball game is on. Jansen made it very interesting, but the Braves win 5-2. Ball game over, tied in the division once again. Brave fans, you got to be happy about that win, but Jesus Lord, can Iglesias close for you guys? I just don't get it. But Isaiah, see you tomorrow. I just don't know. But you know, what do you expect from Naquin, right? He's a strikeout guy, right? But it wasn't easy. The Mets once again tried to battle back in the 9th inning. They had opportunities, bases loaded with Alvarez, their big call-up, their big top prospect, didn't get it done. Again, I do blame a little bit of Buck putting McGill in that inning. A 3-2 lead, a 3-2 deficit looked a lot easier to overcome than a 5-2 deficit. But again, Jacob deGrom gave up 3 home runs, 5 hits, 6 innings pitched, 11 strikeouts, and no walks. And quality start, but not good enough. And it comes down to the fact that the Mets offense, the entire game, couldn't put runs on the board. You can talk about McGill, you can talk about Buck. The offense has to come through. And again, the Mets didn't score in this inning anyway, so it would have been a 3-2 win for the Braves most likely. So it looked like a pitcher's duel for a little bit. The Braves broke it open. Nito got a solo home run to get a little closer. Mets had opportunity in the 9th, didn't get it done. Tough performance for the Mets. This game was basically the Mets in September. Not a lot of offense. Pitching was, but it was where it needs to be. You got to continue with Alvarez. You can't give up on him like that. I don't think you can do that. That's not fair. 5 games to go. Tied division once again. Here we go. Tomorrow, Scherzer on the mound. Right on the mound. See what happens tomorrow. It was a fun game. Good times for both Braves and Mets fans going back and forth. Come back tomorrow, guys, and see what happens. Everybody have a good night. I am doing this tomorrow, Tim. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. Offense better come back. And again, it was mostly home runs early for the Braves and then 2 clutch hits to get the 5th run. So there you go. Everybody have a good night. Let's go Mets. Again, Mets still have the division in their hands if they win 1 game. They got 2 opportunities to do so. Once again, keep the Braves in the ballpark. Could be a different outcome. We shall see. Everybody have a good night. Let's go Mets. See you next time, guys. Good job, guys.